Chapter 1382. The heavenly palace was tens of thousands of feet tall. Its entire body looked like it was made of gold. It was majestic and surrounded by endless divine light. At this moment, the door of the heavenly palace was completely open. A mysterious aura gushed out, invigorating everyone who took a whiff of it. It was the purest saint spiritual chi. Everyone felt that the heavenly palace was like an extremely huge Holy Spirit pool. The Holy Spirit chi was endless, and it was extremely pure. Figures flew over from afar. When they saw the door of the heavenly palace open, they all entered the heavenly palace excitedly. When Ling Xiao and the rest arrived in front of the heavenly palace, they saw that the human experts had already disappeared into the heavenly palace. When the two doors of the heavenly palace opened, the saint's spiritual chi gushed out. In Ling Xiao's eyes, it was like the mouth of an archean ferocious beast, exuding an extremely dangerous aura. "Junior brother Long, are we going in directly?" Fang Sheng looked at the door of the heavenly palace in front of him. Although he was excited, he still asked Ling Xiao cautiously, "Let's go in first. At least, there shouldn't be any danger for now." The corner of Ling Xiao's mouth twitched slightly. A strange light flashed in his eyes. He was now 100% sure how Bo Jie had set up such a huge heavenly palace. This was not the heavenly palace at all. It was the illusion demonic ancient tree. Finally, Ling Xiao saw the illusion demonic ancient tree for the first time in the realm of the gods. In the war gods world, he had encountered the illusory demonic ancient tree a few times. Each time, he had encountered the illusory demonic ancient tree, which had brought him great danger. However, it had also brought him countless opportunities. This was because the origin energy contained in the illusion demonic ancient tree was extremely important for repairing the wordless heavenly book. The illusion demonic ancient tree was the mother tree of the demon clan. Legend had it that there was an illusion demonic ancient tree in the demon realm. The first generation of demon clan ancestors grew from the illusion demonic ancient tree. Therefore, in the demon realm, the illusion demonic ancient tree was the belief and totem of the demon clan. Only the most powerful demon clan had the illusion demonic ancient tree, and was extremely precious. Ling Xiao was puzzled about how the heavenly palace could appear out of thin air in the heavenly thunder sea. Now, he was completely sure that it was not a heavenly palace, an illusion of the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao thought to himself, Of. Both of these were extremely difficult to achieve. However, Ling Xiao knew that the human clan experts were not in any danger for the time being. Since Boji had taken out the illusion demonic ancient tree, he would not be satisfied with just killing a few human clan experts. He would definitely attract more human clan experts, including divine king experts. Therefore, Ling Xiao led King Xian and the rest into the heavenly palace. Rumble! Dazzling light shone before them. Streaks of divine light bloomed like lightning. Ling Xiao and the rest felt that the light in front of them had changed. They appeared in a foreign space. To be exact, they were in a dazzling galaxy. They were surrounded by dazzling stars that sparkled like jewels. They lit up the lonely and dark sky. The galaxy stretched for hundreds of millions of miles. It was extremely beautiful. The group stood on top of the galaxy. Countless resplendent light clusters floated in front of the crowd. These light clusters were like stars that could be touched with one's hands. When Ling Xiao and the rest appeared, they saw many people collecting the dazzling light balls. Some of them were even fighting over the treasures in the light balls. Hand over the heavenly king scripture in your hand. Otherwise, you will die. Why should I? I got this scripture first. Go get it yourself if you have the ability. A group of middle-aged men in black robes surrounded a young man in white. They stared at the page of golden scripture in the young man's hand with greed. Although the young man in white was a little afraid, he still said stubbornly. Many human race experts found that although there were many bright balls of light, only a few would appear after a certain period of time. Only then could they be collected by the crowd. Therefore, the person who obtained the treasures in the light balls became the target of everyone. There were scriptures, peerless martial arts, powerful holy treasures, incomparably precious elixirs. There were all kinds of treasures in the light balls. It could be said that it had completely aroused the greed in everyone's heart. "Pa, I got a holy treasure. If you are not afraid of death, come and take it." A thin young man roared crazily. His eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. He held a black saber in his hand. It flowed with a mysterious holy light. The saber light was blazing and bright. There were several corpses lying at his feet. They had died extremely miserably. "I got the legendary eternal creation elixir. This peerless holy sword is mine. All of you, get out of my way. Anyone who gets in my way will die. This scripture belongs to me. All of you, go to hell." Many experts of the human clan went completely crazy. Their eyes were filled with excitement and exhilaration. Due to the appearance of the treasures in the light balls, it immediately caused a fight between the crowd. There were endless screams. Many human clan experts were killed in the Star River. Soon, the void was filled with a thick smell of blood. "Junior brother Long, do you think the treasures in the light balls are real?" Fang Sheng and Fang Chong were eager to try, but they were also very cautious. "You can give it a try." Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said non-committally, "Can we really snatch them?" Yi Liangchen's eyes lit up. "Go ahead." Ling Xiao nodded. He also wanted to verify what the treasures in the light balls were. This was because Ling Xiao could feel that the holy light emitted from the holy treasures did not seem fake. After all, it was difficult to kill so many experts even in an illusion. "All right, Pa, let's go and snatch one for fun." Yi Liangchen and the black donkey were excited. Boom! At this moment, a bright light burst out from the Star River. Suddenly, 7 or 8 light balls flew out from it. Chapter 1383. Everyone could see that there were powerful weapons, mysterious elixirs, and even inheritance scriptures in the 7 to 8 balls of light. The inheritance scriptures that appeared in the 3 balls of light became the target of everyone's intense competition. Rumble. Above the galaxy, many human experts fought fiercely over the 7 to 8 balls of light. All of them attacked with all their might, trying to snatch the great opportunity in the balls of light. The black donkey was the fastest. This guy was very cunning. When the balls of light flew out, he had already calculated the location of the balls of light. In addition to his extreme speed, he snatched one of the bright balls of light and flew back to Ling Zhao's side in an instant. No matter how cunning they are, they still have to drink my foot-washing water. Hurry up and see what's inside." The black donkey laughed proudly. Then, he handed the ball of light to Ling Xiao so that he could check the page of golden scriptures in the ball of light. That's right, the black donkey had snatched one of the 3 balls of light that contained the inheritance scriptures. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he took the ball of light. Divine light burst out from his hand and the ball of light exploded into a rain of light, revealing the inheritance scriptures within. Mysterious light lingered and runes filled the air. This page of inheritance scriptures looked extremely ancient, as though it contained the mysteries of heaven and earth. Seeing this page of inheritance scriptures, Xian Wang, Yi Liangchen, Fang Chong, and Fang Sheng were all attracted. Their eyes were filled with anticipation. It's actually the seed of the demonic illusion ancient tree? No wonder it's so realistic. It can even simulate the mysterious aura of the inheritance scriptures. Ling Zhao's eyes seemed to turn golden at this moment. He activated the textless heavenly book and the secret skill of destiny. In front of Ling Xiao, the world seemed to have turned into chaos. Lines of precepts ran in all directions. Ling Xiao glanced at the inheritance scriptures in his hand and could tell that it was the seed of the demonic illusion ancient tree. It exuded a rich and majestic origin energy. This galaxy was the trunk of the demonic illusion ancient tree. It was 1,000,000 feet tall and stood between heaven and earth. It exuded an extremely terrifying aura. However, Ling Xiao only took a closer look. After engraving the full appearance of the demonic illusion ancient tree in his heart, he stopped instantly. The illusory fiend ancient tree in front of him was too terrifying. Ling Xiao did not want to alert the enemy, not to mention that Boji and the others had yet to appear. Many experts of the human race had been attracted by the treasures in the galaxy. At this moment, they were not vigilant at all. In Ling Zhao's eyes, they had become food for the phantom devil ancient tree. It was just that the conspiracy of the devil race had not yet begun, so they appeared to be very calm. The seed of the illusory demonic ancient tree was about the size of a fist. It was branded with many mysterious patterns that looked like the pattern of a demon god. It was ferocious and terrifying, and it emitted a strange aura. Ling Xiao could feel that the aura was able to affect one's primordial spirit. Not only would it cause one to sink deeper into the illusion of the heavenly palace, but it would also trigger the desire to kill. What a vicious plan! Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. Just the seeds of the illusory fiend ancient alone were enough to cause many human experts to kill each other. At this moment, a burly man in a black robe flew towards Ling Xiao. He was emitting a strong murderous aura. Looking at the ball of light in Ling Zhao's hand, his eyes were burning with greed. Most importantly, his cultivation level had already reached the Divine King realm. Kid, hand over the Inheritance Sutra in your hand, and I will spare your lives. The burly man in the black robe said coldly. That's the third of the 3 demons equal to heaven, Qi Wangsun. How dare he snatch something from a disciple of Ares College? How bold! Someone's eyes flashed as he could not help but exclaim. Apparently, he had recognized the burly man in the black robe. The 3 demons equal to heaven were 3 infamous bandits in the mythical space. Each of them was of the Divine King realm. They were extremely powerful and ferocious. Not only did they hunt down experts of the devil race, but they also hunted down experts of the human race. Therefore, most people would avoid the 3 demons equal to heaven. No one had expected Qi Wangsun to be eyeing the Inheritance Sutra in Ling Zhao's hand. So what if he's from Ares College? Han Li from Ares College is not here. How can a few ordinary disciples be a match for Qi Wangsun? I'm afraid they will just hand it over obediently. What can they do? Qi Wangsun is already a divine king. Even Chu Yunfan would not stand up for them. Everyone was discussing among themselves as they looked at Qi Wangsun in awe. Big brother, there's no need to offend Qi Wangsun for those bastards. Long Outyin is too arrogant. Let Qi Wangsun teach him a lesson. Chu Yunfei said with a cold smile. Chu Yunfan furrowed his brows, but he did not say anything in the end. Qi Wangsun, are you trying to make an enemy out of Ares College? We were the ones who got the Inheritance Sutra, why should we give it to you? Fang Xing stared at Qi Wangsun coldly and said, That's right. Qi Wangsun, don't push it too far. The Imperial College is not a pushover. Fang Chong said coldly. Seeing that both Fang Sheng and Fang Chong had spoken, and that the students from Ares College and Imperial College had gathered together, Qi Wangsun's eyes flashed. Ares College and the Imperial College were famous for being protective of their students. However, these 2 colleges were extremely powerful. If they offended them, the 3 demons equal to heaven might not be afraid of them, but they would have to suffer a lot in the future. However, Qi Wangsun had the pride of a divine king. He sneered and said, So what if you are from Ares College and the Imperial College? I was the one who wanted the Inheritance Sutra first. I didn't expect you to steal it from me. Hand it over and I won't do anything to you. In fact, Qi Wangsun was right. He had his eyes on the Inheritance Sutra for a long time. However, before he could do anything, Black Donkey had stolen it from him. Naturally, he was not happy about it. Moreover, the strongest among the disciples from Ares College and the Imperial College was only in the late heavenly god realm. He did not care about them at all. You really want the Inheritance Sutra? Ling Xiao suddenly raised his head and looked at Qi Wangsun with a strange expression. Qi Wangsun was taken aback, but he still sneered and said, That's right. As long as you hand it over, I won't do anything to you. All right, the Inheritance Sutra is yours. Ling Xiao said calmly and threw the Inheritance Sutra to Qi Wangsun. Everyone was stunned. Chapter 1384. Xian Wang, Yap Liangchen, Fang Xing, and Fang Chong were all confused by Ling Zhao's actions. However, they were reassured by Ling Zhao's look. They knew that Ling Xiao had his reasons for doing so. Very well. Kid, at least you know what's good for you. Qi Huangsun was taken aback by Ling Xiao's words. However, he quickly took the book and walked away with a cold smile. Qi Huangsun did not want to fight with the students of Aries College and Imperial College in front of so many people. It was a good thing that Ling Xiao was willing to hand it over. As for those who didn't get to watch a good show, they looked at Ling Xiao with disdain and disdain. Even though they knew that Ling Xiao was no match for Qi Huangsun, they did not expect a student of Aries College to hand over the book just because of a few words from Qi Huangsun. Brother, did you see that? Long Outyin is a coward who bullies the weak and fears the strong. Just one Qi Huangsun is enough to scare him. He is a disgrace to Aries College. Chu Yunfei sneered. Hearing the mockery of Ling Xiao from the surrounding people, he felt very pleased in his heart. Bully the weak and fear the strong? I don't think so. Do you think King Kong is a pushover? Chu Yunfan's eyes flashed with a strange light as he said slowly. Chu Yunfei's face froze when he heard Chu Yunfan's words. King Kong was the most outstanding student of the Overlord College. His King Kong battle body and King Kong seal were well known. Even though he was only in the great circle of the heavenly god stage, many people said that he had the combat power of a divine king. Ling Xiao was able to fight King Kong to a draw. Why would he be afraid of Qi Huangsun? Thinking of this, although Chu Yunfei was not convinced in his heart, he still fell silent. Yunfei, tell all the students not to fight for those balls of light. If I'm not mistaken, there's something wrong with those balls of light. Chu Yunfan suddenly opened his mouth and said, there was a deep light in his eyes. What? Big brother, why? Those balls of light contain incomparably precious treasures. Chu Yunfei immediately asked anxiously. Let's take a look first. Listen to me, don't move. Although Chu Yunfan didn't know what was wrong, he suddenly felt a little scared, as if there was something evil hidden in those light balls. Junior brother Long, why did you give that scripture to Qi Huangsun? Fang Sheng couldn't help but ask Ling Xiao with a puzzled look. Ling Xiao glanced at the crowd. Their eyes were filled with doubt as they waited for him to explain. After all, they didn't think that Ling Xiao was afraid of Qi Huangsun. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say, but don't reveal any strange expressions. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he transmitted his voice to everyone. Everyone felt a chill in their hearts and secretly nodded their heads. That's not an inheritance scripture at all, but the seed of the illusory demonic ancient tree. The heavenly palace you see is not a heavenly palace, but an illusory space formed by the illusory demon ancient tree. Ling Xiao slowly told everyone what he had seen. Xian Wang, Yi Liangchen, and the rest looked calm on the surface. However, when they heard Ling Xiao's words, their hearts were in turmoil. The illusory demonic ancient tree. Everyone knew what the illusory demonic ancient tree meant. The illusory demonic ancient tree was the ancestral spiritual root of the demon race, but it was also a nightmare for the human race. During the war between the demon race and the demon race, the illusory demonic ancient tree had caused a lot of casualties to the human race. The thought of falling into an eternal dream, being turned into a mindless puppet, and being turned into fertilizer for the illusory demonic ancient tree deeply infuriated every human cultivator. If they knew that the illusory demonic ancient tree had appeared in the mythical space, not only the 5 academies, but also the 3 immortal sanctuaries would be alarmed. Junior brother Long, if we're really trapped in the illusory demonic ancient tree, I'm afraid we won't be able to escape. Fang Chang's eyes were filled with worry. Don't worry, everyone. The phantom fiend ancient tree is not an invincible existence. At the very least, I've already discovered its existence. So, what we need to do now is to not touch those seeds of the phantom fiend ancient tree and find a way to escape. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke to everyone. He did not plan on letting anyone know that he was going to use the wordless heavenly book against the illusory demonic ancient tree. Ling Xiao had taken the risk to enter the heavenly palace because he wanted to discover the illusory demonic ancient tree's weakness and find an opportunity to kill it in a single strike. Soon, more and more human cultivators entered the heavenly palace. Disciples from the 5 academies had also come. Senior Sister Qinglian of the Taishang Dao Palace had also entered. When she saw Ling Xiao, Fang Chong, and the others, she brought people to meet up with Ling Xiao. Qinglian's expression became extremely solemn when she heard Ling Xiao mention the illusory demonic ancient tree. She immediately used a special method to contact the god kings of the Taishang Dao Palace, wanting to inform them of this matter. In the endless void, Boji stood in the air with a group of demon race experts, radiating an extremely majestic presence. Below Boji, there was a 1,000,000-foot-tall illusory demonic ancient tree rooted in the void. Its thick roots were dormant like dragons, reaching into the depths of the void and absorbing the endless void's energy. The illusory demonic ancient tree was luxuriant with branches and leaves that covered the sky. It radiated a monstrous demonic chi. Its leaves were as black as ink, branded with mysterious patterns, as if they were phantoms of a demon god. From where Boji stood, he could see that the illusory demonic ancient tree seemed to have formed a huge barrier around it. It was like a bubble, misty and mysterious. The human cultivators had already entered the barrier and were immersed in the heavenly palace's illusory demonic realm. Young master, there are already over 1,000 human cultivators who have entered the heavenly palace. There are even 3 god kings. Can we make our move now? Behind Boji, a god king with a tiger's head and a human's body bowed respectfully to Boji. His aura was terrifying and his eyes were cruel. Let's wait a little longer. The god kings of the 5 academies had yet to arrive. If we make our move now, wouldn't we be letting them off easy? This time, I will kill all the god kings of the 5 academies to avenge Close and the other 2. Boji sneered, his gaze becoming incomparably deep and serene. Chapter 1385. Young Lord, the human race is full of cunning and cunning. I'm afraid that the 5 academies have a treasure that can deal with the illusory demonic ancient tree. That would be troublesome. Another demon god king behind Boji advised. He was covered in snake scales and had a feminine aura. Among the 5 academies, the only thing that can threaten the illusory demonic ancient tree is the Thunder Pearl. However, the Thunder Pearl was severely damaged and went missing a few thousand years ago. Therefore, there is no power that can threaten the illusory demonic ancient tree. Listen to my command. As long as the divine kings of the 5 academies enter the heavenly palace, immediately take action and kill them all. Don't let any of them escape. Boji sneered as his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He had paid a huge price this time to convince the elders in the clan to allow him to use the illusory demonic ancient tree. The illusory demonic ancient tree was a trump card that the Heavenly Fiend clan had left in the mythical space a long time ago. It was extremely secretive and almost no one knew about it. If not for Boji's high status in the Heavenly Fiend clan, he would not have used the illusory demonic ancient tree. Moreover, in order to cooperate with Boji's operation, the Heavenly Fiend clan had decided to send experts to attack the ancient city and take it down completely once the illusory demonic ancient tree was exposed. By then, the human race would be severely injured and the Heavenly Fiend clan would have a bridgehead to attack the realm of the gods. Therefore, the illusory demonic ancient tree was the most important part of the plan. Whether or not they could attract the godly kings from the 5 academies and kill them was the key to the success of the plan. However, Boji did not say this out loud. As long as the plan succeeded, Boji might be able to become the next young clan leader of the Heavenly Fiend clan. At the thought of this, Boji was filled with excitement and fanaticism. Long Outen, you're here too. This time, I'll catch you with my own hands and burn you to ashes. Boji's deep gaze landed on Ling Xiao, revealing a trace of deep hatred and murderous intent. It's Boji's aura? A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he casually glanced at the sky. He instantly felt Boji's gaze on him. Ling Xiao also sensed the hatred and killing intent in Boji's eyes. Ling Xiao sneered coldly in his heart and said, "If you want to kill me, then let's see if you have this ability. But this illusionary fiend ancient tree is mine." While everyone was fighting over the balls of light, Ling Xiao had been looking for a flaw in the illusory fiend ancient tree. How to sneak into the illusory fiend ancient tree and destroy it with the wordless heavenly book. That was the question Ling Xiao had to consider. Although the illusory fiend ancient tree was strong, the wordless heavenly book was its nemesis. Ling Xiao already had several experiences dealing with the illusory fiend ancient tree. However, the most important thing was how to escape unscathed. Perhaps I can use the Thunder Origin Pearl to create a super thunderstorm? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as his eyes lit up. Ling Xiao had already started to refine the Thunder Origin Pearl and had also obtained the Thunder Emperor technique. The Thunder Origin Pearl was a Thunder Dao treasure that could control the Thunder Law. In the Heavenly Lightning Sea, it could be said that it was the best opportunity to trigger endless heavenly lightning. If he used the Thunder Origin Pearl to create a super thunderstorm, not only could it divert everyone's attention, but it would also cause great damage to the illusory fiend ancient tree. At that time, Ling Xiao could take the opportunity to enter the illusory fiend ancient tree's body. However, in this way, the Thunder Origin Pearl could be exposed. However, it was much better than the wordless heavenly book being exposed. Moreover, if he planned it well, perhaps the Thunder Origin Pearl would not be exposed. Ling Xiao thought quickly in his heart as he watched more and more experts from the human clan enter the heavenly palace. Moreover, the fight for the balls of light was getting more and more intense. There were already quite a number of casualties. Junior Brother Long, the Godly King Realm experts from the 5 academies have arrived. They are about to break through the illusion. At this moment, Qing Lian suddenly transmitted a message to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's eyes widened as he hurriedly asked, "How many Godly King Realm experts from the 5 academies have arrived? If there are too few, I'm afraid there is no way to break through the illusion formed by the illusory fiend ancient tree." Don't worry. This time, the 10 Godly King Realm experts have all arrived. They even brought along the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron. No matter what, we must destroy the illusory fiend ancient tree. Qing Lian smiled faintly. The Taizhong Sacred Cauldron? Ling Xiao's heart calmed down. The Taizhong Sacred Cauldron was the treasure that suppressed the Taizhong Ancient City. It was related to the Taizhong Ancient City's fate. It was a flawless sacred treasure with terrifying power. There was a sacred cauldron in each of the 33 ancient cities in the mythical space. According to legend, the 33 sacred cauldrons were a set of top sacred treasures. Not to mention the ordinary demon clan, even a group of saints would be suppressed directly. It seemed that the 5 academies attached great importance to the illusory fiend ancient tree. They even brought out a treasure like the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron. Rumble. Suddenly, the vast starry sky began to tremble violently. The void trembled violently as heaven and earth roared. It was as if some ancient and majestic force was violently attacking the heavenly palace. Has it already begun? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The experts from the 5 academies were indeed fast. However, with the experts from the 5 academies taking the lead and creating chaos, Ling Xiao could take advantage of the chaos to trigger the super thunderstorm. Outside the heavenly palace, 10 figures stood in the air, each of them exuding a terrifying aura and exuding a vast fluctuation of divine power. In front of them, there was a black ancient cauldron that was tens of thousands of feet tall. It was like an immemorial sacred mountain, exuding a monstrous divine light. This was the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron. Dazzling light filled the air, auspicious vapors rose, and streaks of divine light traversed the void like divine chains of order. As the 10 godly kings poured their divine power into the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron to activate it, the cauldron slammed into the heavenly palace and erupted with a tsunami-like momentum. The entire heavenly palace began to tremble violently. However, on top of the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron, a 1,000,000-foot-tall illusory fiend ancient tree appeared. It looked like a torrential demonic light and was incomparably terrifying. Under the illumination of the Taizhong Sacred Cauldron, the true form of the illusory fiend ancient tree was completely revealed. It really is the illusory fiend ancient tree. These demon bastards are really courting death. Let's attack together and destroy them for me. Han Li's eyes flashed sharply as he sneered. Boom! As his voice fell, the 10 godly king powerhouses all used powerful divine abilities and charged towards the vast heavenly palace in front of them. Chapter 1386. Damn it! How did the people from the 5 academies discover the illusory demonic ancient tree? Above the illusory demonic ancient tree, Boji saw the 10 divine kings with the heavy sacred cauldron and began to attack the illusory realm formed by the illusory demonic ancient tree. He originally planned to lure the divine kings from the 5 academies into the illusory realm and kill them all. However, he didn't expect that the 10 divine king realm experts in the ancient city would move out at the same time, and they even brought the ancient cauldron with them. Young Lord, could it be that someone saw through the illusory realm of the illusory demonic ancient tree and informed the people from the 5 academies? The tiger-headed demon god king's eyes flashed coldly as he asked Boji. Impossible. Even divine kings and half-saints might not be able to see through the illusory realm formed by the illusory demonic ancient tree. Those bastards from the human race are all attracted by the great fortune. It's impossible for them to see through this. Boji denied flatly. Young Lord, it seems like our plan has to be carried out in advance. With the illusory demonic ancient tree in full force, even the 10 demon god kings will die without a doubt. The demon god king, who looked like a poisonous snake, said slowly, "Since they don't know what's good for them, let's send them all to hell." Boji's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Although the situation had changed, he did not think that the 10 divine kings and the heavy sacred cauldron could deal with the illusory demonic ancient tree. Moreover, as long as they could delay the 10 divine kings, they would be like turtles in a jar after the Sky Devil clan's experts broke through the ancient city. They would die without a doubt. Rumble. As Boji formed a seal with his hands, a strange sound wave spread out from his mouth. The originally calm illusory demonic ancient tree began to riot at this moment. It emitted a monstrous demonic light, and the resplendent light balls fell down instantly. The illusory demonic ancient tree's seeds emitted a strong aura that completely triggered the killing intent in the hearts of the human race experts. Ha! There are so many treasures and they're all mine. Obviously scram. Whoever dares to snatch my treasures will die. The experts of the human race went completely crazy. In front of their eyes, the dazzling Milky Way suddenly exploded. Thousands of dazzling light balls appeared in front of them, each of them revealing treasures that could make people go crazy. Boom. Immediately, many human experts could no longer hold back and began to fight fiercely. In order to fight for the treasures in the balls of light, one after another, blood spilled in the sky. However, what they didn't notice at all was that the corpses and blood that flowed from their bodies mysteriously disappeared into the galaxy. However, at this moment, everyone was dominated by the thought of killing, and they didn't notice the various changes at all. Damn it! Ling Zhao's eyes suddenly became extremely cold. He could see that the corpses and blood were all devoured by the illusory demonic ancient tree. Moreover, the illusory demonic ancient tree was bursting with an even more intense killing aura. Rumble. The heavy sacred cauldron shone brilliantly. It was incomparably holy and mysterious. After another violent collision, the incomparably magnificent heavenly palace was completely shattered. Although the illusion formed by the illusory demonic ancient tree was powerful, it couldn't withstand the power of the heavy sacred cauldron and completely shattered. At this moment, where was the heavenly palace in front of everyone? Where was the Milky Way? A 1,000,000 feet tall illusory demonic ancient tree took root in the void and floated above the heavenly thunder sea. Black branches drooped down and danced wildly like black poisonous snakes, entangling many human experts and even beginning to devour their flesh and blood. Boom! Streaks of black demonic light flashed across the void like lightning. The illusory demonic ancient tree let out an incomparably sharp demonic howl, causing many human experts to feel dizzy. Their vision turned dark, and their movements became incomparably sluggish. Ah! What is this? Where is the heavenly palace? Where are my treasures and opportunities? Oh my God, is this the legendary illusory demonic ancient tree of the demon clan? How can it be so terrifying? Don't kill me. Let me go. Run. Many human experts seemed to have just woken up from a dream. They all screamed and fled in all directions, their eyes filled with terror. Qinglian, Xian Wang, Feng Xing, Yiliangchen, and Feng Chong had all maintained sufficient vigilance due to Ling Zhao's warning. The moment the illusion shattered, they all quickly escaped from the illusory demonic ancient tree's attack range. Everyone, let's leave this place first. We can't participate in this kind of battle. The illusory demonic ancient tree's power is too terrifying. Let's leave the heavenly thunder sea first. Ling Xiao said quickly to the crowd with a serious look in his eyes. The illusory demonic ancient tree's power was incomparably terrifying. It far surpassed any illusory demonic ancient tree that Ling Xiao had seen before. Even divine kings seemed insignificant before the illusory demonic ancient tree. Su, protect them well. At the same time, Ling Xiao secretly transmitted his voice to Bai Su. Junior brother Long, aren't you coming with us? Qinglian glanced at Ling Xiao and asked. You all go first. Don't worry about me. I'll go and see if I can help. A divine light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he dived into the sky lightning sea. Rumble. In the sky above the heavenly thunder sea, the 10 great divine kings controlled the heavy Saint Cauldron and were engaged in an intense battle with the illusory demonic ancient tree. Every collision was as terrifying as a landslide. Although most of the human experts who had fallen into the illusion had woken up due to the heavy Saint Cauldron breaking the illusion, they had all lost their lives to the illusory demonic ancient tree. Only Chu Yunfan, King Kong, and a few other divine kings who were more vigilant managed to escape from the illusory demonic ancient tree's attack. Moreover, the 10 great divine kings had blocked most of the illusory demonic ancient tree's attacks for them, allowing them to survive. Even so, a large number of human experts were still killed and devoured by the illusory demonic ancient tree. The aura of the illusory demonic ancient tree was getting more and more terrifying. Moreover, Bo Jie had brought many spear-wielding experts from the demon clan to kill the human experts who were trying to escape. Capture Long Outyin for me. I want to kill him with my own hands. Bo Jie's eyes were cold and filled with cruelty. As he chased after the human experts, he did not forget to order his subordinates to capture Ling Xiao. At this moment, Ling Xiao had already entered the heavenly thunder sea. Buzz. The thunder origin bead floated in front of Ling Xiao, emitting a mysterious and majestic aura. Streaks of purple lightning spread out, and the incomparably violent lightning laws in the sky seemed to be attracted by the thunder origin bead at this moment, gathering towards the thunder origin bead. P.S. 4th update. Brothers, rest early. In the future, there will be 4 chapters every day. Muyu will try to explode again in a few days. Thank you. Chapter 1387. The Thunder Source Pearl was a treasure bestowed by the 9-layered Imperial Obelisk. With the Thunder Source Pearl, Sky Sword, Tyrant, and the disciples of the Great Zhou Academy improved by leaps and bounds when they cultivated the Thunder King Divine Technique. It was as if the heavens were helping them because the Thunder Source Pearl could gather the law of thunder and control the divine lightning of the heavens. The heavenly lightning sea contained the majestic law of thunder and was extremely chaotic. It was like a barrel of gunpowder that would explode once ignited. The Thunder Source Pearl was the fuse. Under Ling Zhao's urging, the Thunder Source Pearl shone brightly like a purple divine sun. It attracted the vast amount of lightning from all directions and gathered towards the sea. Rumble. Above the sky, dark clouds pressed down and strong winds howled. Endless lightning gathered and intertwined, as if forming a vast lightning domain. Purple, silver, and golden lightning converged, containing an incomparably terrifying destructive power, enveloping the illusory demonic ancient tree. At the beginning, no one noticed this change. However, when the endless thunderbolts intertwined and turned the place into a blazing thunderstorm, everyone felt that something was amiss. Especially Boji and the other experts of the Devil Clan, their faces turned green. Can anyone tell me why a thunderstorm is formed here? And why is it such a terrifying super thunderstorm? Boji's face was gloomy, his eyes filled with anger and disbelief. Although the illusion fiend ancient tree was extremely terrifying, it was the same as the other demon experts. It was afraid of attacks with extreme yang energy, such as fire and lightning, which could cause multiple times the damage. Only when a demon became a saint could they completely make up for this weakness. But now, a super thunderstorm was about to erupt. Even if the illusion fiend ancient tree could withstand it, it would probably be severely injured by the super thunderstorm. The 10 god kings had brought along the heavy sacred cauldron, which was already troublesome enough. Who would have thought that a super thunderstorm would appear at this time? It was simply one disaster after another. Young master, the source of the super thunderstorm is in the heavenly lightning sea. I think someone is behind this. I'll go and kill him. The god king, who looked like a venomous snake, had a murderous look in his eyes. He instantly sensed the source of the super thunderstorm. Capture him for me. No matter who he is, anyone who dares to ruin my plans must die. Boji's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He flew into a rage and roared while gnashing his teeth. Yes. The demon god king's eyes were cold as he shot towards the heavenly lightning sea. Rumble. However, at this moment, the incomparable lightning nomological laws started to boil like boiling water. Terrifying divine light swept out in all directions as bolts of lightning exploded. They traversed the void like divine chains of order, containing extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. The divine light was like a blazing net that enveloped the entire illusory demonic ancient tree. Dense lightning bolts, as thick as mountains, fell from the ninth heaven and unleashed the most terrifying attack on the illusory demonic ancient tree. The illusory demonic ancient tree seemed to have sensed the danger as well. Numerous black branches, like poisonous snakes, traversed the void and constantly contended against the lightning bolts. At the same time, it emitted a black demonic aura that formed a huge boundary, like a heavenly canopy, to protect itself. The super thunderstorm was too terrifying. Even a divine king expert would die if he was not careful. There were even a few experts from the human clan who did not manage to escape in time. They were swept up by the super thunderstorm and exploded into a bloody mist in an instant. This place seemed to have become a sea of lightning. Unparalleled lightning bolts were everywhere. The demon god king did not even have time to enter the heavenly lightning sea. Ling Xiao had already kept the thunder source pearl and then used the sky-shrouding secret technique to conceal his aura. In an instant, he disappeared from the demon god king's senses. After the demon god king rushed into the heavenly lightning sea, not only did he not discover anything, but he was also severely injured by the super thunderstorm. He coughed up blood and was sent flying. This is a good opportunity. Fellow Taoists, let's break the defense of the illusory demonic ancient tree together. It will definitely be severely injured. Elder Han Li's eyes lit up as he suddenly roared. The divine power around him was frantically poured into the heavy sage cauldron. The other 9 divine kings also knew that this was a good opportunity. They all erupted with their strongest powers and began to give it their all. Buzz. The heavy sage cauldron shone brightly like an eternal divine mountain. It emitted an ancient and heavy aura. A mysterious sound wave spread out as if it was the chanting of ancient ancestors. It also seemed like the blessing of the gods and devils in the heavens. It made the heavy sage cauldron's light surpass everything in an instant and become eternal. Boom! The heavy sage cauldron suddenly slammed towards the illusory demonic ancient tree. A powerful holy light spread out, causing this attack to contain the power to destroy the heavens and earth. No! Bo Xie roared as his eyes instantly turned red. The threat of the heavy sage cauldron was too great. It even surpassed the 10 divine kings. After all, it was the treasure of destiny of the heavy ancient city. Even if the illusory demonic ancient tree wanted to deal with the heavy sage cauldron, it would have to pay a great price. Now, the illusory demonic ancient tree was covered by the super thunderstorm and was trying its best to resist the destructive power of the super thunderstorm. At this moment, the power of the heavy sage cauldron had completely erupted. The illusory demonic ancient tree had no way to resist. It could only watch as the heavy sage cauldron slammed into the black barrier. As if the heavens and earth were collapsing, the black barrier instantly shattered. The heavy sage cauldron was filled with eternal holy light as it slammed into the illusory demonic ancient tree. In an instant, countless black branches exploded and turned into fine powder. The illusory demonic ancient tree also let out an extremely tragic howl. The heavy sage cauldron broke through the layers of demonic light and slammed into the tree trunk, creating a huge black hole in the illusory demonic ancient tree. At the same time, the super thunderstorm also completely erupted. It poured into the broken trunk of the illusory demonic ancient tree like a flash flood, causing even more damage. Good chance. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed with divine light. He instantly used the heaven-shrouding secret technique. His entire body seemed to have become part of the endless thunder. His speed was extremely fast. He did not alert anyone at all as he flew directly into the body of the illusory demonic ancient tree. The illusory demonic ancient tree seemed to be completely enraged. It actually let out a roar like an Archean fierce beast. Endless demonic light surged around it, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. The vast heavenly thunder sea actually separated to two sides at this moment, revealing an unfathomable abyss at the bottom of the sea. Endless demonic chi gushed out from the heavenly thunder sea. Chapter 1388. You despicable and shameless humans, leave your lives behind today. Boji roared again and again. His hands rapidly formed seals, and incomparably strange syllables came out of his mouth. Moreover, behind him, the shadow of an incomparably mysterious illusory demonic ancient tree seemed to have appeared, standing at the peak of the Milky Way, propping up the vast heavens and earth. There seemed to be a strange connection between him and the illusory demonic ancient tree. Under his control, it started to attack the experts of the human tribe in a frenzy. Oh no! The illusory demonic ancient tree is going berserk. Take advantage of its weakness and kill it quickly. Han Li's face changed as he roared. The berserk state of the illusory demonic ancient tree was when it was severely injured and on the verge of death. Although it had to pay a huge price, it was enough to make the illusory demonic ancient tree invincible. Needless to say, Boji was controlling the illusory demonic ancient tree and the experts of the demon tribe were watching from the side. The situation was getting more and more critical. Rumble! The heavy sage cauldron was once again activated by the 10 great divine kings. Its aura was terrifying as it launched an extremely fierce attack on the illusory demonic ancient tree. Every collision was like a tsunami. The aura was monstrous, causing countless branches of the illusory demonic ancient tree to explode. The tree was also turned into dust by the endless thunderbolts. Even so, the aura of the illusory demonic ancient tree was still gradually increasing. Especially after devouring the demonic light that erupted from the bottom of the sea, its power increased rapidly. Although the heavy sage cauldron had cut off the demonic realm power that erupted from the bottom of the sea, it still gave the illusory demonic ancient tree a chance to breathe and counterattack. Rumble! 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 The collision between the heavy sage cauldron and the illusory demonic ancient tree became more and more intense. However, Han Li and the others' faces were turning pale. They vaguely realized that the heavy sage cauldron was showing signs of not being able to suppress the illusory demonic ancient tree. If this continued, they might not be able to do anything to the illusory demonic ancient tree when their divine power was exhausted. Black Donkey, do you think that super thunderstorm was caused by Big Brother? Why do I feel that it was caused by him? On a thunder mountain at the edge of the battlefield, Yi Liangchen looked at the intense battle in the distance with suspicion as he asked Black Donkey. Hee, isn't that obvious? Other than that brat, who else could make such a big scene? The super thunderstorm is fatal to the illusory demon ancient tree. It seems like we should be able to exterminate the illusory demon ancient tree this time. The Black Donkey snickered, looking very confident. This time, the devil race had set up a trap in the heavenly palace, which had attracted countless experts of the human race. However, except for a few who were more vigilant and managed to escape after the heavenly cauldron broke through the illusion, most of the others were killed by the illusory devil ancient tree. Everyone's hearts were filled with worry for this battle. The strength of the illusory demonic ancient tree was like a huge mountain that pressed down on everyone's hearts. However, you shouldn't be worried about this battle. You should be worried about the ancient city. The devil race has attracted the experts of the 5 great academies here. Even the ancient city's cauldron has been brought here. Now that the ancient city is empty, if the devil race's experts break into the ancient city, it will be a big joke. The black donkey's eyes flashed as he slowly said to everyone. His words immediately caused the expressions of Xian Wang, Qinglian, Fang Xing, and Fang Chong to change. Their attention was focused on the battle in front of them. However, after the black donkey's reminder, they suddenly felt that the possibility of this happening was very high. If the ancient city fell into the hands of the devil race would have a bridgehead to attack the god realm. That would be a devastating blow to the human tribe. In the past few years, although there were casualties in the war between the human tribe and the devil race, the human tribe was able to completely shut out the devil race because of the 33 ancient cities. They even treated the devil race as training and hunting targets. Qinglian's expression became extremely solemn. This possibility is very high. The heavenly devil race is very cunning and treacherous. Now that the ancient city is weak and there is no heavy holy cauldron to suppress it, once the devil race's experts attack, the consequences will be unimaginable. Everyone, I will return to the ancient city first and contact all the experts to resist the devil race. You all think of a way to inform the 10 great divine king elders. Tell them to immediately return to the ancient city after ending the battle here. Qinglian quickly said to everyone. Yes. Fang Chong nodded and said with a serious look. After Qinglian finished speaking, she immediately left the Sky Lightning Sea and used the Divine Escape Heavenly Talisman to quickly return to the ancient city. I hope the 10 great divine kings can kill the illusion demonic ancient tree as soon as possible. Otherwise, the ancient city will be in danger. Fang Xing muttered to himself with a look of deep worry in his eyes. Rumble. In the distance, the collision between the heavy holy cauldron and the illusion demonic ancient tree became more and more intense. For a moment, it seemed to be in a stalemate. No one could do anything to the other. Han Li and the other 10 great divine kings' eyes were filled with anxiety. In the Sky Lightning Sea, the divine power in their bodies could not be replenished. On the other hand, the illusion demonic ancient tree's power seemed to be endless. Moreover, it could absorb the energy in the endless void through its roots. If this continued, they were afraid that they would soon run out of divine power and would not be able to activate the heavy holy cauldron. Fellow Taoists, we can't go on like this. Otherwise, we won't be able to hold on for long. Han Li said with a serious look. Fellow Taoist Han, do you have any good ideas? A white-haired old man's eyes flashed as he asked. He was an elder of the Sky Sword Academy and sword intent surged around him. His entire being was like a divine sword that had been unsheathed, its sharpness radiating in all directions. The illusion demonic ancient tree is now severely injured. The reason it is still in a stalemate with us is because of Bo Jie of the Heavenly Devil Clan. I plan to take action later and think of a way to kill Bo Jie. Then, you guys will take the opportunity to attack the illusion demonic ancient tree. It should be effective. Han Li's eyes revealed a trace of decisiveness as he slowly said. Fellow Taoist Han, if you leave the protection of the heavy holy cauldron, I'm afraid you will be in great danger. Not only the 2 demon god kings, but even the illusion demonic ancient tree will attack you. An old woman from the Imperial Academy said slowly. We can't care so much. If this continues, we will all die. We have to take some risks. Wait for my command. When I take action, you guys will attack the illusion demonic ancient tree. Han Li said resolutely with a trace of crazy and powerful fighting spirit in his eyes. In that case, fellow Taoist Han, be careful. Chapter 1389. Boom. The heavy sacred cauldron and the illusory demonic ancient tree collided violently once again. Demonic light rose, causing the surrounding void to tremble violently. Just as Han Li was about to make his move, the illusory demonic ancient tree suddenly let out an incomparably shrill and angry howl. The illusory demonic ancient tree's aura seemed to rapidly weaken at this moment, as if something was sucking away its vitality. It was incomparably angry and even somewhat fearful. Good chance. Continue to attack the illusory demonic ancient tree. Han Li's eyes lit up as he said decisively. Although he did not know why the illusory demonic ancient tree had undergone such a drastic change, he knew that this was a good opportunity. As the saying goes, take advantage of the enemy's weakness. As long as he seized the opportunity to severely injure the illusory demonic ancient tree, the illusory demonic ancient tree would undoubtedly die. Rumble. The heavy sacred cauldron shone brilliantly and once again blasted towards the illusory demonic ancient tree. At this moment, inside the illusory demonic ancient tree's body, Ling Zhao's aura was ethereal and mysterious, completely shrouded by the heaven-shrouding secret skill. His body was covered by a layer of demonic light, but the wordless heavenly book was madly devouring the power of the illusory demonic ancient tree. At this moment, Ling Zhao was like a black hole, exuding an incomparably terrifying devouring power. The wordless heavenly book floated in Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness, shining brightly like the sun. Ling Zhao's glabella glowed. The majestic demonic power in the illusory demonic ancient tree had no resistance in front of the wordless heavenly book and began to be devoured frantically. It was precisely because the wordless heavenly book was devouring the power of the illusory demonic ancient tree that strange changes were occurring in the outside world. This was also the reason why Ling Zhao did not dare to release the wordless heavenly book and expose it completely in front of everyone. Otherwise, the illusory demonic ancient tree would have been completely devoured by the wordless heavenly book. Even with the heaven-shrouding secret skill's concealment, the majestic power and life essence of the illusory demonic ancient tree were constantly being devoured by the wordless heavenly book. It even began to emit incomparably terrifying fluctuations. Boom! The vast energy was devoured by the wordless heavenly book, and strands of essence surged into Ling Zhao's body, turning into a vast ocean of energy. Ling Zhao's divine force began to fill up rapidly, pushing his cultivation to skyrocket. Ling Zhao had used over 100 drops of saint liquid to break through to the mid-sky god realm. Originally, it would have taken a long time to break through to the late sky god realm or even the great circle sky god realm even with the support of the saint liquid. However, the life essence of the illusory fiend tree was not inferior to the saint liquid at all. Furthermore, it was extremely vast. Even though most of the energy had been devoured by the wordless heavenly tome, just a sliver of energy was enough to push Ling Zhao's cultivation to an extremely terrifying level. Early middle stage of the heavenly god stage, middle stage of the heavenly god stage, high stage of the heavenly god stage, peak of the heavenly god stage, the life source in Ling Zhao's body also became more and more majestic. His entire body radiated a strange light. His body was crystal clear, his divine force was vast like the ocean, and his soul was pure and flawless. As the wordless heavenly tome devoured the energy of the illusory fiend tree, Ling Zhao's heart force also began to slowly grow. Before long, Ling Zhao's cultivation had broken through to the late sky god realm. Moreover, the breakthrough was still ongoing. Bastard! Who's devouring the energy of the illusory fiend tree? Sheku Tiger Demon, go kill that bastard for me. Boji was about to go mad with rage. His eyes were filled with insanity. He was mentally connected to the illusory demon ancient tree. The moment the illusory demon ancient tree began to act strangely, he also sensed that there was a mysterious existence within the illusory demon ancient tree that was madly devouring and stealing its power. Most importantly, the speed at which the existence was stealing the energy of the illusory fiend tree was terrifying. In such a short period of time, the illusory fiend tree had lost 1% of its energy. If this continued, it would not be long before the illusory fiend tree was completely sucked dry. At the same time, a great sense of fear enveloped Boji. He could not think of any living being that could devour the energy of the illusory fiend tree with such terrifying efficiency. If this continued, the Heavenly Fiend clan's plan would really fail completely because of this unforeseen event. If that happened, even if Boji returned to the clan, he would probably receive the harshest punishment. Yes. Sheku and Tiger Demon's eyes flashed. Under Boji's guidance, they instantly flew towards the illusory fiend tree. Han Li had been watching Boji's movements. When he saw that Sheku and Tiger Demon had left Boji and were flying towards the illusory fiend tree, he immediately followed. Boom! Dark golden blood rose from his body. He stood tall as he threw a punch at the two demon god kings. The terrifying fist print seemed to be able to punch a hole in the sky. Han Li's undying war body had been cultivated to the 5th level, triple deity transformation dragon. His physical body was extremely terrifying. He could even take on a godly monarch weapon with his bare hands, let alone two demon god kings. You're courting death. Sheku and Tiger Demon's expression changed. Their eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent. Bang! The two demon god kings also attacked at the same time, taking Han Li's fist head-on. Suddenly, the void rumbled and the heaven and earth trembled. That unparalleled divine power exploded. Han Li's figure only swayed slightly, but Sheku and Tiger Demon were sent flying dozens of feet away. Their blood was in turmoil, and their eyes were filled with shock. The two of them had never fought with Han Li, so they could not imagine that a human expert could have such terrifying physical strength. Demon brat, you want to check out the situation inside the illusory fiend tree, right? Hee, with me here, you won't be able to go anywhere. Han Li sneered. His eyes were filled with frenzied battle intent. He had long guessed that something must have happened to the illusory fiend tree. Otherwise, it would not have weakened so rapidly. Although he did not know the reason, as long as the demons wanted to do something, he would naturally stop them. He had to stop the two demon god kings, Sheku and Tiger Demon. If the situation inside the illusory fiend tree was not resolved, it would naturally become weaker and weaker. In the end, it would be completely killed by them. Kacha! The heavy sacred cauldron was filled with resplendent light. It attracted the lightning that filled the sky, turning into divine chains of order. It instantly pierced through the illusory fiend tree, causing its injuries to worsen. Chapter 1390. The wordless heavenly book was the nemesis of the illusory demonic ancient tree. No matter how strong the illusory demonic ancient tree was, once the wordless heavenly book invaded its body, it would constantly devour the tree's energy and life essence until it was completely devoured. Ling Xiao had encountered the illusory demonic ancient tree several times from the war god's world to the divine world. It could be said that he was more scared than hurt. Relying on the wordless heavenly book's ability to devour the illusory demonic ancient tree, his cultivation base increased greatly. In Ling Xiao's eyes, the illusory demonic ancient tree was simply a gift. Every time it appeared, it was a great opportunity for Ling Xiao. Originally, Ling Xiao did not know how long it would take to break through to the complete heavenly god realm. However, with the help of the illusory demonic ancient tree, Ling Xiao's breakthrough time was greatly accelerated. After refining a large amount of the illusory demonic ancient tree's life essence, Ling Xiao's cultivation base was pushed to the complete heavenly god realm in one go. One must know that in the divine world, even for those with peerless talent like Tian Gang, Jiyuan Long, and Qinglian, it would still take them hundreds of years or even longer to cultivate from the divine spirit realm to the heavenly god realm. However, Ling Xiao had only been in the divine world for 3 years and he had already reached his current level. This kind of breakthrough speed could simply be described as world-shaking. After all, the cultivation of the divine realm required constant polishing of the small world and Godhead, comprehending the laws of heaven and earth, and then finding one's own path to the divine path. With his cultivation base reaching the complete heavenly god realm, coupled with Ling Xiao's combat strength, he was not afraid to fight anyone from the 5 major academies. After breaking through to the complete heavenly god realm, Ling Xiao began to suppress his cultivation base. He did not choose to break through in a hurry. Instead, he used the majestic energy of the illusory demonic ancient tree to temper his physical body and cultivate the indestructible war body. On his chest, the 5 viscera sacred palaces emitted a bright light. Like 5 small suns, the divine light was dazzling. As the wordless heavenly book gave back more and more energy, his physical body also became more and more powerful. His entire body was like a crystal clear, untainted by dust, mysterious and unfathomable. At this moment, Bo Jie was about to go crazy. The two demon kings, Serpent Ku and Tiger Mo, were stopped by Han Li. The heavy cauldron was bombarding the illusory demonic ancient tree. The illusory demonic ancient tree was facing both internal and external threats. And it was gradually becoming unable to bear it. Rumble! A large number of branches and leaves exploded, and the trunk of the phantom demon ancient tree was severely damaged. The endless demonic energy was reduced to nothingness by the lightning. Damn it! If I find out who's behind all this, I'll definitely kill him and tear him to pieces. Boji's eyes were bloodshot, and his entire being had gone crazy. The trap he set up with the illusory fiend ancient tree could have been said to be foolproof, but who would have thought that so many unforeseen events would occur? At this point, the illusory fiend ancient tree was actually beginning to be unable to withstand the pressure and was about to be destroyed. Boji's heart could not help but tremble at the thought of how furious the elders would be if the illusion demon ancient tree was destroyed. Boji already had the thought of retreating. If he continued to stay, he would not be able to escape death once the illusory demon ancient tree was killed by the heavy Saint Cauldron. However, he was not willing to run away just like that. Even if he wanted to escape, he had to do something. Rumble! After another violent collision, the heavy Saint Cauldron blasted a huge hole in the huge illusory fiend ancient tree. Endless demonic light spewed out, and the illusory fiend ancient tree's aura became increasingly weak. The thought in Boji's mind instantly became firm. Humans who have been forced, don't you want to destroy the illusory fiend ancient tree? Since that's the case, let's die together. Pa! Boji's eyes were filled with madness as he suddenly roared. Rumble! He formed a seal with his hands and communicated with the true spirit of the illusory fiend ancient tree. An extremely violent aura erupted from the illusory fiend ancient tree, and an extremely chaotic aura surged as if it was about to self-destruct. The self-destruction of the illusory fiend ancient tree was much more terrifying than the self-destruction of a godly king expert. Even if a sage-to-be expert was present, there would be nothing left of him in the self-destruction of the illusory fiend ancient tree. Within the illusory fiend ancient tree, Ling Zhao's eyes flashed when he realized that Boji actually wanted the illusory fiend ancient tree to self-destruct and perish together with the 10 human godly kings. Ling Zhao could not help but sigh in admiration. Boji was truly ruthless. Although Ling Zhao could devour the energy of the illusory fiend ancient tree, once the illusory fiend ancient tree decided to self-destruct, even Ling Zhao with the wordless heavenly book would not be able to stop it. What a pity! Ling Zhao sighed softly. Then he directly dug out the dozens of illusory fiend ancient tree's cores from the illusory fiend ancient tree. He instantly turned into a mysterious stream of light and left the illusory fiend ancient tree, entering the sky lightning sea along with the lightning that filled the sky. The wordless heavenly book had already refined more than half of the illusory fiend ancient tree's life origin, but there was still a small portion of energy that had not been completely refined. Ling Zhao naturally felt that it was a pity that the illusory fiend ancient tree would self-destruct. Oh no! When the godly kings heard Boji's words, their expressions changed as they frantically activated the heavy Saint Cauldron. The heavy Saint Cauldron shone brightly, exuding an incomparably strange energy that enveloped the godly kings. Even Han Li, who had repelled Serpent Ku and Tiger Demon at the last moment, entered the defensive range of the heavy Saint Cauldron. Boom! The illusory fiend ancient tree emitted a terrifying demonic light. Demonic chi was so dense that it seemed to form countless phantoms of the demon god. A mysterious sound wave spread out, and the entire illusory fiend ancient tree exploded in an instant. The terrifying energy swept out in all directions. The power of the illusory fiend ancient tree's self-destruction directly broke the barrier of the divine devil space, tearing the sky apart and sweeping out in all directions, turning the dozens of lightning mountains in the surroundings into dust. The heavy Saint Cauldron was the first to bear the brunt of the impact. Endless divine light exploded as the heavy Saint Cauldron hummed. The 10 godly kings were struck by lightning as they spat out mouthfuls of blood. Their auras weakened, and their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. If it wasn't for the power of the heavy St. Cauldron, they wouldn't have just been injured. Their souls would have been completely scattered by now. Boji was incomparably ruthless this time. He made the illusory fiend ancient tree explode, enveloping all the demon race experts within it. Serpent Ku, Tiger Demon, and many other demon race experts were turned into dust in this explosion. However, Boji had disappeared before everyone's eyes, and no one knew where he went. "We must capture Boji, he must die." A demon god king's eyes were cold, and his voice was incomparably chilling. He began to search for Bushuan's traces and aura. Ling Xiao, who was originally in the heavenly lightning sea, wasn't too affected by the explosion. He had already escaped the range of the illusory fiend ancient tree's self-destruction. Boji still managed to escape? But I'm afraid you won't be able to escape this time. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply. He instantly flew away from the heavenly lightning sea towards the abyss demon world's passageway. Chapter 1391. Rumble. The self-destruction of the illusory demon ancient tree turned the heavenly thunder sea into a vacuum. Endless thunderbolts gushed out, forming a chaotic thunder territory. Many human clan experts who did not manage to escape in time were turned into ashes. Moreover, if not for the heavy sacred cauldron blocking most of the power of the explosion, the area would have expanded. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. After the explosion of the illusory fiend ancient tree calmed down, the eyes of the 10 great divine kings flashed as they flew towards the area where the illusory fiend ancient tree exploded. The heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree was not left behind? Did Boji take it all away? Han Li's eyes flashed as he said with disappointment. The reason why they were so diligent was to obtain the heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree. They were already divine kings. If they wanted to embark on the divine path in the future, the accumulation of divine kings was very important. The heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree contained boundless energy that was extremely important to them. Probably not. Boji only detonated the illusory fiend ancient tree and fled. He did not have the time to collect the heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree. I'm afraid it's someone else. A middle-aged man in a dragon robe from the Great Zhou Academy said slowly as his eyes flashed. He looked very similar to Ji Huang. He was Ji Huang's twin brother, Ji Jun. He was the vice principal of the Great Zhou Academy. He held a high position and was extremely powerful. Someone else? It can't be. Who can take the heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree away under our noses? A white-haired old man from the Sky Sword Academy frowned slightly as he said in disbelief. That's not necessarily true. Don't forget that the illusory fiend ancient tree was originally very powerful. Coupled with Boji's control, even if we used the heavy sacred cauldron, it would be very difficult to suppress it in a short period of time. However, the illusory fiend ancient tree suddenly became extremely weak. Someone must be stealing the power of the illusory fiend ancient tree. The heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree must be in the hands of that person. If we can find him, we can get the heart of the illusory fiend ancient tree. Ji Jun's eyes flashed with a glimmer. The person in the dark, I'm afraid that he has already left. It's probably very difficult to find him. Moreover, he has the ability to avoid the detection of so many of us. I'm afraid his strength is not below ours. Han Li shook his head and said, he didn't have much hope. Let's search. Ji Jun said noncommittally. At this moment, Fang Xing, Fang Chong, and the others flew over from afar. Greetings, elders. Something big has happened in the ancient city. Fang Xing was sweating profusely. Fang Chong's face was also filled with anxiety. What happened? The expressions of Han Li and the others changed, and they immediately asked solemnly. When the elders were besieging the phantom demonic ancient tree, the experts of the heavenly devil clans suddenly charged into the ancient city. They are now engaged in a fierce battle and the ancient city is in imminent danger. Elders, please hurry back to the ancient city. Fang Xing hurriedly said. These bastards are really courting death. Let's go. Han Li, Ji Jun, and the others looked at each other, their eyes filled with murderous intent. They drove the cauldrons into the sky and flew towards the ancient city. Their hearts were incomparably heavy. As for the phantom demonic ancient tree heart, they had already thrown it to the back of their minds. If the ancient city was breached by the heavenly devil clan, it would definitely be a huge matter that would shock the entire divine world. They brought the cauldrons out. Now that the ancient city was empty, if the heavenly devil clan had long planned this, the ancient city would really be in danger. On the other side, Ling Xiao used the sky-shrouding secret technique to conceal his aura. It was as though he had turned into a part of the lightning as he traveled through the heavenly lightning sea. Ling Xiao guessed that Bo Jie would definitely want to return to the devil world through the abyss passageway at the bottom of the heavenly lightning sea. Hence, Ling Xiao simply went in the direction of the abyss passageway. Ling Xiao used the teleportation secret technique to travel thousands of miles in an instant. His speed was extremely fast, and soon he arrived at the abyss passageway. The abyss passageway in front of him was still pitch black. It was spewing out black demonic light as though there was an incomparably mysterious and ancient aura escaping from it. Bo Jie shouldn't be here yet. Ling Xiao's gaze flickered as he guessed that Bo Jie should not be here yet. Ling Xiao went directly to the entrance of the abyss passageway. With a flash of light in his hand, dozens of divine talismans appeared. He used an extremely ingenious method to hide them in those black rocks. Moreover, their auras intertwined with each other, fusing into one with the surrounding demonic aura. Ling Xiao believed that these divine talismans would definitely give Bo Jie a huge surprise. After all, Bo Jie was a genius powerhouse of the heavenly devil clan. He had many tricks up his sleeves and definitely had a lot of treasures on him. Ling Xiao only hoped to kill him in the shortest time possible. He had never thought of fighting him alone. If a few demon god kings rushed out of the abyss passageway, it would be a big joke. Ling Xiao arranged everything and once again concealed himself in the sea. Not long after, Bo Jie indeed appeared. Bo Jie was dressed in a black robe. His figure was robust, and his face was full of vigilance. His eyes were filled with unwillingness and anger. He simply could not understand how his ingenious plan had failed. In the end, he was even forced to detonate the illusion fiend ancient tree. Every time he thought of the fellow who had stolen the energy from the illusion fiend ancient tree, he gnashed his teeth in anger. He could not wait to tear that fellow into pieces. If it was not for that bastard, the illusion fiend ancient tree would have killed all the powerhouses of the human clan. Bo Jie was furious. If he had the chance to catch that bastard, he would definitely turn him into ashes to vent the hatred in his heart. Now, I can only return to the clan. But I will be back sooner or later. Bo Jie stood at the entrance of the abyss passageway and looked up as he muttered to himself. Since you are here, why are you in such a hurry to leave? Why don't you leave your life behind? At this moment, an indifferent and calm voice rang out in the sky thunder sea. Who is it? Bo Jie's body trembled. His eyes suddenly became incomparably cold as he looked in the direction of the voice. Oh no! However, Bo Jie suddenly felt an extremely palpitating feeling. He did not even think about it and wanted to flee to the side. Clang! A snow-white saber light lit up silently. Like a vast heavenly river, it slashed down from the sky above Bo Jie. It contained a monstrous holy brilliance and was unparalleled in its sharpness. This was a flawless holy treasure saber. Bo Jie immediately sensed it. Chapter 1392. Rumble. The blazing blade light slashed on the small black shield, bursting into dazzling divine light. The void rumbled as lightning spurted out. The scene was terrifying. Bo Jie was forced to descend and enter the abyss passageway due to the terrifying divine power of the blade. However, an even greater crisis had erupted. Rumble. Dazzling divine talismans lit up around Bo Jie and intertwined with each other. Divine light crisscrossed like divine chains. Terrifying energy fluctuations erupted in an instant, forming an incomparably chaotic domain that enveloped Bo Jie. This was the killing trap that Ling Xiao had set for Bo Jie. He used the mysterious Kuan sword to force Boji into the abyss passageway before detonating dozens of divine talismans. It was as if dozens of heavenly gods were detonating around Boji at the same time. The terrifying energy multiplied. Even a true divine king would be severely injured by the explosion, let alone Boji, who was only in the complete heavenly god realm. He could not avoid this killing trap. Who is it? I'll definitely kill you. Boji roared angrily. His eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent and anger. At this moment, he was on the verge of going crazy. He was already full of resentment when he was forced to detonate the Phantom Fiend ancient tree. He did not expect that someone would set up an ambush and trap at the abyss passageway, instantly putting him in danger. Rumble. Black demonic light gushed out from Boji's body. Countless ancient talismans appeared on his black robe and intertwined with each other, forming a powerful defensive barrier that resisted the power of the dozens of divine talismans. However, when the 5 elemental divine talisman exploded, the power of the 5 elements reinforced and restrained each other, causing the chaotic domain to become even more terrifying. Even the powerful defensive treasure on Boji's body was instantly torn apart. Boji was enveloped by a terrifying divine light. Only his miserable shrieks could be heard as blazing demonic light gushed out from within. Kill! Ling Zhao's eyes were extremely cold. Golden blood rose from his body as if there were 5 small suns erupting from his chest. The invincible battle body was fully activated by him. Then a dazzling fist burst out. It was like the fist of a celestial emperor, suppressing all enemies and containing peerless killing power. Ling Zhao knew that those dozens of talismans would most likely not be able to kill Boji, so he didn't give Boji any chance to catch his breath and directly unleashed another fatal blow. Rumble. When the explosion of the divine talisman gradually dissipated, Boji rushed out of it with his body in tatters. He kept coughing out blood and his eyes were filled with crazy killing intent. At the same time, Ling Zhao's fist was right in front of him. Long Outyan, you deserve to die. As the saying goes, when enemies meet, their eyes blaze with hatred. When Boji realized that all of this was caused by Ling Zhao, he was about to go crazy. Monstrous demonic light erupted from his body. His eyes turned black and white at this moment, as if yin and yang were intertwined. A black and white divine light intertwined and shot toward Ling Zhao. It was like the light of yin and yang that separated life and death. It shot towards Ling Zhao's forehead, wanting to destroy his primordial spirit directly. This black and white divine light was extremely terrifying. Even if a divine king expert was caught off guard, he would probably be severely injured. However, Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He didn't care about it and continued to throw a punch at Boji. You're courting death, Boji said with a sneer. The black and white divine light was his innate ability, the demonic lines of life and death. It targeted the primordial spirit directly and its power was extremely terrifying. However, it also placed a heavy burden on Boji. If it wasn't for his extreme hatred for Ling Zhao, he wouldn't have used the demonic lines of life and death. The demonic lines of life and death shot into Ling Zhao's forehead. Ling Zhao's punch also landed heavily on Boji's chest. Boji's body trembled. His incomparably strong physique had been destroyed by Ling Zhao's punch. Ling Zhao's invincible battle body was at level 4 complete realm. In addition to his already terrifying physique, his punch was extremely powerful. Even a divine king expert wouldn't dare to take it head-on. Therefore, it could be said that Boji had hit an iron plate. What made Boji feel incredulous was that Ling Zhao didn't seem to be injured at all when the demonic lines of life and death shot into his forehead. Boji also lost the ability to sense the demonic lines of life and death. How is this possible? How can you resist the attack of the demonic lines of life and death? Do you have a saint treasure that defends the primordial spirit? Damn it. Boji gritted his teeth. His eyes were filled with anger. Although he was a genius of the heavenly demon clan, he wasn't qualified to have a saint treasure. Moreover, the most powerful half-step saint treasure had been completely destroyed. Now, it couldn't even resist Ling Zhao's attack. He guessed that Ling Zhao must have a saint treasure that defends the demonic lines of life and death in his sea of consciousness. However, what he didn't expect was that Ling Xiao didn't have a saint treasure that defends the primordial spirit but the wordless heavenly book. The moment the demonic lines of life and death shot into Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, it was swallowed by the wordless heavenly book. Buzz. Boji's primordial spirit floated in the void. He trembled slightly and wanted to shoot into the abyss passageway. He was completely terrified. Ling Xiao's strength was far beyond his imagination. It was very likely that he would die here. Leave your life here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. The mysterious Kuan sword was mighty and blazing. Another sword slashed down at Boji. Grandpa, save me. Boji's eyes revealed a trace of despair. He couldn't help but roar crazily. Boom. Suddenly, a vast and majestic aura erupted from Boji's primordial spirit. Dazzling demonic light gushed out and an old man with white hair and beard emerged. He looked sage-like and was no different from a human clan expert. However, he had a pair of extremely demonic blue eyes and an incomparably majestic face. Who dares to kill my grandson? A monstrous voice exploded in the heavenly thunder sea. It was like a sudden clap of thunder that made Ling Xiao's ears buzz. In front of this old man, he felt like a small boat in the middle of a raging storm. He was in danger of capsizing at any time. The saint. This old man must be a saint expert. Ling Xiao's heart trembled. That terrifying and eternal aura could trigger the power of the laws of heaven and earth. Only a saint could do that. Behind Boji, there was actually a devil saint. This was something that Ling Xiao did not expect. However, Ling Xiao didn't show the slightest fear. He sneered and said, "It's just a primordial spirit brand. What's there to be arrogant about?" Chapter 1393. Get lost. The old man's eyes flashed with killing intent as he slapped his palm across the sky. The terrifying palm print was like a divine mountain that pressed down on the heavens. In Ling Xiao's eyes, it was as if the palm came from an endless distance, causing his body to tremble. Bang! The mysterious Kuan sword was sent flying by the old man's palm. This old man's strength was terrifying to the extreme. However, Ling Xiao could see that the old man's figure had become much more illusory after the attack. "Brat, I'm Demon Saint Bo Yu of the Sky Devil clan. How dare you kill my grandson? Even if you hide in the divine world, I'll kill you," the old man said coldly. His aura was extremely violent as it pressed down on Ling Xiao, trying to destroy Ling Xiao's will. "So what if you're Demon Saint Bo Yu? Get over here if you can. How dare a mere primordial spirit imprint speak so arrogantly? Today, Bo Jie will die without a doubt. No one can save him." Ling Xiao was completely ruthless as his eyes revealed a trace of cold killing intent. Rumble. The purple thunder origin orb flew out of Ling Xiao's body like a purple divine sun, bursting with incomparably gorgeous light. Streaks of lightning spurted out, forming a huge purple lightning net that covered the sky and enveloped Bo Yu. "Human brat, you're courting death." Bo Yu's face changed immediately. The power of lightning had a great restraining effect on the primordial spirit. Although Bo Yu was a demon saint, the power of his primordial spirit imprint wasn't strong. It was easily restrained by the power of lightning. Moreover, the thunder origin orb was a supreme treasure of lightning, a flawless sacred treasure. Under Ling Xiao's control, it erupted with incomparably terrifying power. Rumble. Although Bo Yu erupted with powerful strength, destroyed most of the power of lightning, and even wanted to escape with Bo Jie's primordial spirit, there was no other way. In the end, streaks of lightning exploded and destroyed Bo Yu's primordial spirit imprint. "Human brat, I'll remember you. One day, I'll kill you with my own hands." Before Bo Yu's primordial spirit imprint disappeared, it left behind an indignant and angry voice that reverberated in the sky lightning sea. "Don't kill me, don't kill me. Mr. Long, please spare me." Boji's eyes were filled with fear. Even the brand that Bo Yu had left in his soul had been destroyed by Ling Xiao. He had lost all hope of escaping. His life was basically in Ling Xiao's hands. The thunder origin bead emitted a blazing light. Bolts of lightning intertwined and enveloped Boji's primordial spirit, making it impossible for him to escape. What a spineless person! Ling Xiao sneered, but he did not show any mercy. The power of the Thunder Origin bead exploded, and Boji's primordial spirit was instantly pierced by the lightning, turning into ashes. His soul was completely destroyed. Ling Xiao did not take Bo Yu's threat to heart. Putting aside the fact that Bo Yu was unable to enter the divine realm, even if he did, the saints of the divine realm were not to be trifled with. Moreover, Ling Xiao was confident that he would be able to find his own path to the divine path and become a saint in a short period of time. Boji was killed by Ling Xiao, and his small world was opened by Ling Xiao. There are actually so many deity crystals? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. Boji's small world actually contained tens of millions of deity crystals. Other than that, there were also many heavenly treasures, some of which were unique to the devil realm. Ling Xiao did not take a closer look and kept all of them. I wonder how the ancient city is doing. However, the 10 great divine kings have already brought the ancient cauldron back. There shouldn't be too much danger. Now that this matter is settled, it's time to return to the college. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. Calculating the time, the generational competition was about to begin. After the generational competition, it would be time to enter the Ares temple. All of Ling Xiao's efforts were for the sake of entering the Ares temple. This time, Ling Xiao could be said to have gained a lot in the god and devil space. His cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds, and his indestructible war body had also reached the peak of the 4th level. He was just one step away from breaking through to the 5th level, the triple deity dragon transformation realm. With Ling Xiao's current cultivation and combat strength, he was confident that he could defeat all the disciples of Ares College. Even the legendary number 1 on the Hidden Dragon leaderboard, Big Dipper Sr., was no exception. However, if I break through too much at once, I'm afraid it'll be easy for people to suspect my cultivation. It's better to conceal it. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He immediately used the heaven-shrouding secret technique and revealed his cultivation to be at the middle heavenly god realm. Otherwise, if people saw that his cultivation had reached the great circle of the heavenly god realm, they would probably suspect that he had devoured the energy of the illusory demonic ancient tree. Although this abyss passageway was extremely sturdy, Ling Xiao now had the Thunder Pearl in his hands. He was confident that he could destroy it. Once again, he used the Thunder Pearl and triggered the endless thunder law in the Sky Thunder Sea. It formed a super thunderstorm and completely destroyed the abyss passageway. After that, Ling Xiao soared into the sky and flew towards the ancient city at extreme speed. Devil Realm. In a strange region, there was a black mountain that towered into the starry sky. It exuded an ancient and majestic aura, and there seemed to be endless stars revolving around it. An old man in a black robe, with white hair and a beard, and blue eyes, slowly opened his eyes. A cold, murderous intent filled the air. Long Outyin from Ares College? I'll remember you. A cold voice rang out, and a strange sound wave spread out. The dozens of bright stars around him turned into nothingness. A burly man in animal skin flew up the mountain. His blood was boiling and his face was ferocious. His eyes were cruel and bloodthirsty, but at this moment he knelt down respectfully. Master, the abyss passageway that leads to the ancient city has been destroyed. The burly man in animal skin said. If it's destroyed, then so be it. Send the order to our spies. Capture Long Outyin from Ares College for me. I want him alive. The black-robed old man was Bo Yu. His cold voice rang out in the void. Yes. The burly man in animal skin replied respectfully. He then turned around and flew down the mountain. After Ling Xiao left the Sky Thunder Sea, he took out a divine escape heavenly talisman and returned to the ancient city. When Ling Xiao returned to the ancient city, he realized that the battle in the ancient city had ended. However, the city defense array of the ancient city had been completely destroyed. A few of the city walls had collapsed, and the experts in the ancient city had suffered heavy casualties. The air was filled with the smell of blood. A few god kings stood in the sky. Their eyes shone coldly as they scanned the surroundings cautiously. The grand heavy sacred cauldron floated in the center of the grand ancient city. It shone with a powerful light, purifying all the demonic qi in the city. Junior brother Long, you're back? Fang Sheng and Fang Chong were taking care of the injured human clan experts. When they saw Ling Xiao, their eyes were filled with joy. It seems like the demonic race expert's scheme didn't work. The humans won. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Then he looked at Fang Sheng doubtfully and said, Senior brother Fang, where are Yi Liangchen and Black Donkey? Have they returned to the college? Ling Xiao realized that Yi Liangchen, Black Donkey, Xian Wang, Feng Ya, and Yin Tiansong were not with them. Fang Sheng and Fang Chong's faces changed, and a bitter smile appeared on their faces. What's going on? Ling Xiao's face darkened. He felt that something had happened. Chapter 1394. Junior brother Long, junior sister Xian Wang and junior brother Yi have been taken away by Vice Principal Ji Jun of the Great Zhou Academy. It is said that Elder Ji Huang of the Great Zhou Academy was killed, and Ji Yuanlong said that it was related to them and you. Fang Sheng's face revealed a hint of anger. What? Ling Zhao's body trembled and his eyes were filled with anger. Elder Ji Huang is a divine king expert and he is extremely powerful. How could junior sister Xian Wang and junior brother Yi kill him? The Great Zhou Academy is so arrogant. Are the elders of the academy not going to do anything about it? Ling Zhao's voice was extremely cold and he was completely enraged. Ji Huang was killed by Ling Xiao, but he did it cleanly. He believed that even the people of the Great Zhou Academy would not be able to find any evidence. Even if the people of the Great Zhou Academy were suspicious, they should be suspecting him. Why would they suspect Xian Wang and Yi Liangchen? Speaking of which, they were probably implicated by Ling Xiao. Fang Chong also nodded and said, Junior brother Long, you are right. Ji Yuanlong said that you were the one who killed Elder Ji Huang. However, since you have not returned, Vice Principal Ji Jun took Xian Wang and Yi Liangchen away for questioning. However, you don't have to worry. Elder Han is also here. He will not let them suffer. The people of the Great Zhou Academy are really domineering. I want to see what they are going to do. Senior brothers, where are they? Please take me there. Ling Xiao sneered and suppressed the anger and killing intent in his heart. The people of the Great Zhou Academy had provoked him time and time again. He had long wanted to kill them. If the Great Zhou Academy dared to hurt Xian Wang and Yi Liangchen this time, Ling Xiao would not mind turning the great ancient city upside down. Junior brother Long, don't be rash. The people of the Great Zhou Academy, Sky Sword Academy, and Overlord Academy are searching for you everywhere. Elder Han wants me to tell you that once you return to the great ancient city, immediately use the teleportation array to return to the academy. As long as you are fine, they will not dare to harm junior sister Xian Wang and junior brother Yi. Fang Xing hurriedly advised Ling Xiao as he was afraid that Ling Xiao would act rashly. Ji Huang's status in the Great Zhou Academy was extremely high, and he was also Ji Jun's younger brother. Now that he was killed for no reason, Ji Jun was about to go crazy. As for the Sky Sword Academy and the Overlord Academy, they naturally stood on the side of the Great Zhou Academy. The Ares Academy and the Imperial Academy were already at a disadvantage. If Ling Xiao appeared, it would definitely give them an excuse to make a move. Long Aotian, you're finally here. Principal Ji Jun has ordered that you are suspected of murdering Elder Ji Huang. You have committed a heinous crime, so come with us obediently. Don't even think about running away. Otherwise, we can kill you on the spot. A cold voice suddenly exploded in the void. Bush, bush, bush. 3 figures flew over from afar. Each of them had a powerful aura. Their faces were cold, and their eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. They were 3 young men in black robes. They were all in the great circle of the heavenly god realm and were disciples of the Great Zhou Academy. They immediately surrounded Ling Xiao. Moreover, the 3 of them exuded powerful sword intent and surged with divine power. Their auras were extremely terrifying. It was as if Ling Xiao dared to act rashly, they would immediately attack and kill him on the spot. Suspected of murdering Elder Ji Huang? Could it be that you're all blind? Tell me, how could I, a mere heavenly god, kill a godly king elder of the great Zhou Academy without a sound? Ling Xiao sneered coldly. Cut the crap. Whether you killed him or not, we'll know when Principal Ji Jun interrogates you. I advise you not to resist. Otherwise, don't blame us for being rude. One of the young men in black robes sneered. To the three of them, Long Outyen was only in the middle heavenly god realm. It was impossible for him to kill Elder Ji Huang. However, this was the vice principal's order. They had to bring this brat back. Moreover, there had always been friction between the Ares Academy and the Great Zhou Academy. They were naturally more than happy to let the disciples of the Ares Academy suffer a little. Who does Ji Jun think he is? Is he even fit to interrogate me? You want to slander me without any evidence? Who do you think you are? Get lost. I'll look for Ji Jun myself. There's no need for you to bark here. Ling Zhao's voice was incomparably cold. He was about to lose control of his anger and killing intent. The moment the Great Zhou Academy arrived, they treated him like a criminal. Ling Zhao's heart was filled with coldness. They were merely 3 disciples in the great circle of the heavenly god realm. Ling Xiao had killed more than 1 godly king realm cultivator, let alone these 3. After hearing Ling Zhao's words, the young man in black robes sneered and said, Long Outyen, I think you want to do this the hard way. Since you don't listen to our orders, don't blame us for being rude. Rumble. The young man in black robes had an indifferent expression. Divine power rose around his body. He slammed his palm towards Ling Xiao. This palm contained a few hidden forces and was extremely vicious. Obviously, he wanted to injure Ling Xiao and make him suffer. If Ling Xiao was only in the middle heavenly god realm, he might not have been able to block this attack. You're courting death. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly as he punched out. Boom. Like a bolt of golden lightning, the ferocious fist aura exploded. It was like a golden sun in the sky, illuminating millions of miles of mountains and rivers. The majestic blood energy gushed out and Ling Xiao's aura changed drastically. He was like an ancient divine beast that had awakened from a deep slumber. This caused the young man in black robe's expression to change drastically. Gotcha. When the fist and palm collided, endless divine light exploded. However, the young man in black robe's expression turned extremely ugly. He felt an irresistible divine power explode. His arm exploded into a mist of blood and he was instantly sent flying. Boom. The young man in black robes crashed into the ground far away, causing the ground to tremble violently. The young man in black robes' aura became extremely weak and he let out a miserable cry. You're courting death. The other 2 young men in black robes were shocked and furious. They did not expect Long Outyen to possess such terrifying combat strength. They immediately took out the 2 ancient swords behind their backs. The blazing light illuminated the void like 2 heavenly rivers and slashed towards Ling Zhao's head. These were 2 godly king weapons. Under their control, they contained an incomparably terrifying destructive power. Humph! Ling Xiao snorted coldly. The blood energy around him surged. He reached out with both hands and the golden blood energy condensed into mysterious lightning runes in his palms. The 2 ancient swords were grabbed by his hands and they were still trembling violently. Chapter 1395. Killing intent flashed in the eyes of the 2 black-robed youths. Seeing that Ling Xiao dared to take on the godly king weapons with his bare hands, they immediately activated their ancient swords, wanting to completely cut off Ling Zhao's arms. Rumble! Ling Zhao's hands suddenly clapped together, and the 2 ancient swords collided with each other, triggering a monstrous divine light. The runes within exploded, and the 2 powerful godly king weapons seemed to have suffered different degrees of damage and began to wail. Swoosh swoosh! Ling Xiao pushed out horizontally, and the 2 ancient swords were directly thrown out, instantly breaking free from the control of the 2 black-robed youths. Their faces changed drastically, and their eyes were filled with incomparable terror. The Ling Xiao in front of him was simply too violent. That kind of terrifying physical body made people feel despair. It was as though anything that stood in his way would be completely destroyed by him. However, before they could react, two golden palm prints had already slapped across the sky. The two palm prints were as fast as lightning, directly blasting on their chests. Instantly, countless ribs were broken, and their chests caved in. Blood spurted from their mouths as they were directly sent flying. In the blink of an eye, three great perfection heavenly gods were severely injured. Fang Sheng and Fang Chong were dumbfounded. Junior brother Long has become stronger again. Fang Sheng exclaimed, but there was not a trace of jealousy in his heart. That's right. I'm afraid junior brother Long's combat strength is enough to compete with senior sister Qinglian, senior brother Tiangang, and King Kong, and even win. Fang Chong also nodded and exclaimed in admiration. Previously, the intense battle between Ling Xiao and King Kong had already shocked them greatly. However, that was only a collision of physical bodies, and the two of them did not truly fight with their full strength. Fang Sheng and Fang Chong only thought that Ling Xiao had the strength to fight King Kong, but he might not necessarily be a match for King Kong. Yet now, Ling Xiao had defeated three disciples at the peak of the heavenly god realm so easily. The scene was extremely shocking and astounding. Perhaps even King Kong and Ji Yuanlong might not be able to defeat three great perfection heavenly gods so quickly. Phew, I feel good. I'll let you live today, but if you still dare to act so arrogantly in the future, be careful that you don't die a proper death. Lead the way, I'm going to meet that so-called Vice Principal Ji Jun. Ling Xiao took a deep breath as a sharp glint flashed across his eyes. The three black-robed young men glared fiercely at Ling Xiao. Their eyes were filled with anger and fear, but they did not dare to say anything more. They supported each other as they stood up and walked in the direction of the city lord's estate. Ling Xiao's expression was very calm as he followed behind. Go. Let's follow them and take a look. No matter what, we can't let the people from the Great Zhou Academy be too arrogant. Fang Sheng and Fang Chong looked at each other and decided to chase after Ling Xiao. They faintly guessed that with Ling Xiao's fiery temper, it was very likely that the city lord's mansion would be turned upside down by him. In a palace deep within the city lord's mansion, 5 figures stood at the top. Their auras were extremely powerful and unfathomable. They were all divine kings. On the 2 sides below them stood Xian Wang, Yi Liangchen, Fengya, Yin Tiansong, and He Donkey. Other than the 5 of them, Bai Susu, Chu Yunfan, and Chu Yunfei were also present. On the other side stood Ji Yuanlong and a few disciples from the Great Zhou Academy. Xian Wang, when you were cultivating in the sacred spirit pool, where did Long Outyin go? Ji Jun's eyes flashed as he looked at Xian Wang and asked. After the confrontation with Ji Yuanlong in the palace, Xian Wang and Yi Liangshan told her how they found the sacred spirit pool and cultivated in it after they left the ancient city and entered the Sky Lightning Sea. Xian Wang did not hide this point. She only said that after they entered the giant sacred spirit pool to cultivate, Ling Xiao left them to search for the sacred spirit pool alone. Xian Wang also knew that the people from the Great Zhou Academy were only suspicious and did not have any evidence. Moreover, she had already discussed with Ling Xiao. She only needed to tell the truth. There was no need to make up any lies. After all, Chu Yunfan and Chu Yunfei clearly knew that Ling Xiao wasn't with them. I don't know where senior brother Long went. However, if Principal Ji suspects that junior brother Long has something to do with elder Ji Huang's death, please show me the evidence. Xian Wang said indifferently. His expression was calm. Ji Jun frowned slightly. Xian Wang's calm expression made him unhappy. However, he did not know why, but he felt that Xian Wang was somewhat familiar. However, he did not know where this feeling came from. In the end, he only snorted coldly. Whether Long Outyin killed Ji Huang or not, we will know after we capture him. You are Bai Susu, right? What is your relationship with Long Outyin? When did you meet? Ji Jun's gaze fell on Bai Susu as he asked indifferently. According to Chu Yunfan and Chu Yunfei, Bai Susu had returned to the sacred spirit pool with Ling Xiao. Perhaps Bai Susu was a better breakthrough point. Long Outyin is my master. We have known each other since before the Great Void Trial. This time, by chance, we met in the mythical space. Bai Susu said coldly as if she was just stating a fact. She did not even look at Ji Jun, Did you and Long Outyin kill Ji Huang together? Hurry up and confess. Ji Jun's eyes suddenly shone brightly. Thunder roared out of his mouth. An extremely powerful sound wave exploded in the palace and enveloped Bai Susu. Bai Susu had used the heaven-shrouding secret technique to show that she was a late-stage heavenly god. In Ji Jun's opinion, Bai Susu would definitely confess if she was caught off guard. Although he did not have any evidence, he had a feeling that Ji Huang's death must have something to do with Long Outyin. Even if Long Outyin did not kill Ji Huang, Long Outyin had something to do with it. No! Bai Susu said indifferently, as if she wasn't affected by Ji Jun's words at all. However, her eyes had turned colder. Ji Jun's brazen attack on her immediately triggered a trace of anger and killing intent in her heart. Ji Jun, I have tolerated you for a long time. You have interrogated me for so long, but you have not found anything. If you have evidence, take it out. If you don't, get lost. The Aries College has no obligation to waste time with you here. Seeing Ji Jun attacked by Susu, Han Li's temper flared up. He slammed the table and stood up. He pointed at Ji Jun's nose, his eyes filled with anger. That's right. Taoist Ji, everything is just your suspicion. Furthermore, I heard that Long Outyin was only a heavenly god. How could he have killed Taoist Ji Huang? I think Taoist Ji Huang died in the hands of the demon race. Chapter 1396. Elders, please listen to what I have to say. Suddenly, the calm Ji Yuanlong's eyes flashed as he cupped his hands towards the five of them. Yuanlong, if you have anything to say, just say it. Ji Jun looked at Ji Yuanlong and said, Elders should know that Long Outyin killed the demonic god king, but the Thunder Source Pearl disappeared. At that time, Elder Ji Huang suspected that Long Outyin had taken the Thunder Source Pearl for himself, so when Long Outyin entered the Sky Thunder Sea, Elder Ji Huang followed Long Outyin to find the whereabouts of the Thunder Source Pearl. After that, Long Outyin left the Aries College and chose to act alone. Hence, I have reason to suspect that Long Outyin went to look for the Thunder Pearl. After following Long Outyin for a few days, Elder Ji Huang's life jade shattered. Hence, I have reason to suspect that Elder Ji Huang's death must be related to Long Outyin. Ji Yuanlong said calmly. But his words made the eyes of the two elders from the Sky Sword College and Overlord College light up. Thunder Source Pearl. These three words seemed to have some kind of magical power that instantly attracted their attention. The Thunder Source Pearl was a flawless sacred treasure bestowed by the 9-layered Imperial Obelisk. It was a treasure for practicing lightning-based martial arts. All these years, the three colleges had been searching for the whereabouts of the Thunder Source Pearl, but to no avail. Now that they heard about the Thunder Source Pearl from Long Outyin, and according to what Ji Yuanlong said, they were even more suspicious that the Thunder Source Pearl was on Long Outyin. Yuanlong is right. Ji Huang's death must be related to Long Outyin. As long as we capture him and search his soul, we will know. Ji Jun sneered. I agree too. If Aries College really has a disciple who dares to kill his elders, how is he different from a demon? He must be severely punished. Sky Sword College's Elder Jian Kuan's eyes flashed as he said calmly. That's right. I also agree to continue the investigation. No matter what, we must find the real culprit who killed Ji Huang. Overlord College's elder was a burly man with a ferocious face. At this moment he also sneered. Han Li's brows immediately furrowed. He knew that the reason why the Sky Sword Academy and the Overlord Academy helped the Great Zhou Academy was not because they wanted to find the culprit. There were many conflicts between the three academies, and it was definitely because of the news about the Thunder Origin Orb. Although Ji Yuanlong's words didn't contain any substantial information, he did mention the possibility that the Thunder Origin Orb might be with Ling Xiao. This indirectly affected the two of them. What a deep scheme. Han Li couldn't help but glance at Ji Yuanlong. Everyone, I've thought of another suspicious point. I'm afraid none of you have thought of it. Ji Jun's eyes flashed as he suddenly said. When we were attacking the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree, a super thunderstorm suddenly appeared in the Sky Lightning Sea. Don't you think it's too much of a coincidence? However, as long as one could control the Thunder Origin Pearl, creating a super thunderstorm was not a difficult task. So now I suspect that the person who created the super thunderstorm is Long Outyin. The Thunder Pearl must be in his hands. According to your sect's disciple's statement, after we broke through the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's illusion, Long Outyin took the opportunity to leave, right? Combining all these suspicious points, I'm completely certain that the person who secretly created the super thunderstorm devoured the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's energy, and snatched the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's heart must be Long Outyin. The content of Ji Jun's words was too explosive. Instantly, the 5 Divine King Realm experts' eyes involuntarily shrank. Even Han Li's heart was shaken. As much as he didn't want to admit it, Ji Jun's deduction was indeed very reasonable. After all, there were too many coincidences in the process. Even Han Li suspected that Long Outyin used the Thunder Origin Pearl to trigger the super thunderstorm. However, if this was confirmed, it would be a great disadvantage for Long Outyin. With the Thunder Origin Pearl and the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's heart, the Sky Sword Academy, Overlord Academy, and the Great Zhou Academy would definitely not let Long Outyin go. Even the Imperial Academy might be tempted. Ji Jun, these are just your conjectures. Long Outyin's cultivation is merely at the Heavenly God realm. How could he use the Thunder Origin Pearl to trigger the super thunderstorm under our noses and even devour the Phantom Fiend Ancient Tree's energy? Do you think he's a saint? If Long Outyin was really a saint, I'm afraid even if he killed Ji Huang, you wouldn't even dare to fart, right? Han Li sneered, his eyes filled with undisguised mockery. Although he somewhat agreed with Ji Jun's conjecture, as a member of the Ares Academy, he naturally couldn't help Ji Jun deal with Long Outyin. Moreover, he had long been unhappy with that bastard Ji Huang. This time, Ji Huang was killed by someone, and he was secretly delighted in his heart. Not to mention that he didn't know whether Ji Huang was killed by Long Outyin. Even if it was really Long Outyin, he would definitely help cover it up. Han Li's words caused everyone to be slightly stunned. That's right. Long Outyin's cultivation is only at the Heavenly God realm. It's impossible for him to cause such a huge commotion under our noses. I also think it's impossible for him to do it. The old lady from the Imperial Academy nodded. Han Li, don't you dare cover up for the murderer. If you find out that my brother's death is related to Long Outyin, I will make him pay with his blood. Ji Jun's eyes flashed with killing intent as he said coldly, "Boom." At this moment, the door of the palace was kicked open by someone. Pay with his blood? What right do you have to make me pay with his blood? You said that Ji Huang's death is related to me, then show me the evidence. Don't make groundless guesses here. Otherwise, even if you are the vice principal of the Great Zhou Academy, you will have to give me an explanation. Ling Zhao's eyes were cold as he walked in from outside the palace. His voice was clear and agitated. The 3 black-robed youths were all bruised and swollen, and their breathing was weak. They supported each other as they staggered into the palace. Immediately, they knelt down in front of Ji Jun and began to cry. Vice Principal, you must make a decision for us. This Long Outyin is too arrogant and savage. We went to bring him back for questioning, but he seriously injured us without any explanation. He's simply crazy. When the 3 black-robed youths saw Ji Jun, it was as if they had seen their savior. One by one they howled. They're talking nonsense. Elder, they were the ones who attacked junior brother Long first. Fang Sheng's face was filled with anger as he looked at Han Li and pleaded. Everyone's eyes couldn't help but shrink. Chapter 1397. You've rebelled, you've really rebelled. Long Outyin, you murdered Elder Ji Huang, and now you beat up 3 seniors. This is simply unforgivable. Kneel down and accept your death. Ji Jun was completely enraged. His gaze was incomparably cold and contained an icy killing intent. Ling Xiao sneered and said, Ji Jun, don't accuse me. I'm a disciple of Ares College, not a disciple of your Great Zhou College. They want to deal with me, don't tell me I'm not allowed to fight back? Since when can your Great Zhou College discipline my Ares College's disciples as you wish? Ling Zhao's gaze was clear as he looked at Ji Jun without any fear. At Ling Zhao's current cultivation level, he was only a step away from the Divine King realm. The pressure that the Divine King realm gave him was not as great as before. And with Ling Zhao's current combat strength, coupled with his various trump cards and methods, even if it was a Divine King realm expert, so what? Ling Zhao was confident that he could win, or even kill, a battle. Long Outyen, did you kill my brother Ji Huang? Tell me honestly, and you can avoid physical pain. Otherwise, no one can save you today. Ji Jun's eyes were red as he said in a cold voice. Although he had no evidence, he believed that this brat in front of him must have something to do with Ji Huang's death. Ji Jun, threatening is not a good move. With me around today, Long Outyen this brat, I'm protecting him for sure. Han Li said with a cold laugh, opposing Ji Jun. Han Li, today I will avenge my brother. Whoever dares to stop me will be my enemy. Do you really want to go against me? Ji Jun's entire body exuded an incomparably majestic aura, causing the void to tremble slightly. You think I'm afraid of you? Ji Jun, you don't have any evidence. You want to touch my Ares College's disciples based on your conjecture? You'll have to kill me first. Han Li sneered. His entire body exuded a vast power of blood and qi. A dark golden light lingered around him, making him look like an indestructible god of war. Seeing that Ji Jun and Han Li were about to fight, the other 3 Divine King realm experts hurriedly came forward to persuade them. No matter what, the 5 great academies were still on the same side on the surface. They still had to maintain a friendly relationship on the surface and couldn't fall out with each other. Elders, I have a way to determine whether Long Outyen killed Elder Ji Huang or not. Ji Wanlong suddenly said, a strange look in his eyes. Oh, what is it? Ji Jun's eyes flashed. Using the ether-heavy sacred cauldron to perform the Heart Inquisition, Great Tao can interrogate a martial artist's heart and obtain the truest answer. No one can lie in the heart-questioning Grand Tao. All you need to do is ask Long Outyen questions in the heart-questioning Grand Tao, and all the answers will be clear. Ji Wanlong smiled. Tao of conscience? These words made Ji Jun's eyes light up. The grand heavy sacred cauldron was able to break through the illusions of reality and directly interrogate a cultivator's mind. Therefore, with the suppression of the grand heavy sacred cauldron, the demon race was unable to sneak into the grand heavy ancient city because there was no way to hide from the grand heavy sacred cauldron's interrogation. Using the grand heavy sacred cauldron to perform the heart-questioning Grand Tao and directly interrogate a martial artist's heart, they would definitely be able to obtain the truest answer. That's right. We will definitely be able to find the truest answer in the heart-questioning Grand Tao. At that time, we will know whether Ji Huang's death is related to Long Outyen. Sky Sword Academy's Elder Jian Kuan also nodded. No. Why should Long Outyen be interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao? You have no evidence to prove that Long Outyen killed Ji Huang. I don't agree. A divine light flashed in Han Li's eyes. He immediately shouted and rejected the offer. In fact, Han Li himself also believed that Long Outyen should be related to Ji Huang's death. After all, there were too many coincidences in between. Even if Long Outyen did not kill Ji Huang, Long Outyen could not escape responsibility. Therefore, he naturally did not agree to let Long Outyen be interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao. Otherwise, if Ling Xiao confessed everything in the heart-questioning Grand Tao, then even Han Li would not be able to save him. Han Li, why don't you agree? I think you have a guilty conscience. Being interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao will not affect him at all. Otherwise, I will just search his primordial spirit. Why go through so much trouble? Ji Jun sneered. Many of the Ares College's disciples were furious. The Great Zhou College was too overbearing. Just based on their guesses, they wanted Ling Xiao to be interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao. However, the Sky Sword Academy and Overlord College both supported Ji Jun. The 3 colleges were in the same boat. A strange look appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. He had naturally heard of the heart-questioning Grand Tao. It was to interrogate the truest feelings and answers in one's heart. All lies could not be hidden. If it was an ordinary heavenly god or even divine king realm expert, they would probably have to obediently confess everything in the heart questioning Grand Tao. However, this did not include Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had obtained the inheritance of the Great Void Emperor and had already cultivated the Great Void Heart Charm scripture to the 3rd level. With Ling Xiao's current heart realm power, even if he lied, he could not only deceive others, but he could also deceive himself. The heart realm power was ever-changing and everything was controlled by the heart. The so-called heart-questioning Grand Tao was a joke to Ling Xiao, who had the heart realm. With the heart realm as a cover, the heart-questioning Grand Tao could not find out anything from Ling Xiao. Even if it knew, it would be what Ling Xiao wanted it to know. Heart-questioning Grand Tao? Alright, I agree. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a mocking smile as he said indifferently, Ji Yuanlong's eyes narrowed. Looking at Ling Xiao's calm expression, he instinctively felt that something was wrong. He was certain that Ling Xiao had something to do with Ji Huang's death. He originally thought that Ling Xiao would not accept the heart-questioning Grand Tao, but Ling Xiao's sudden agreement made him waver. Could it be that Ji Huang's death really had nothing to do with Ling Xiao? No, Ji Yuanlong immediately denied it. This must be Ling Xiao's bluff. Long Outyan, don't worry. As long as you don't want to be interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao, no one can force you. With me around, no one will hurt you. Han Li glanced at Ling Xiao and persuaded him softly. He was afraid that Ling Xiao was being impulsive. If an accident really happened in the end, it would not be easy to clean up the mess. Thank you, Elder Han. I have a clear conscience and am not afraid of being interrogated by the heart-questioning Grand Tao. However, I have a condition. Ling Xiao smiled at Han Li. His expression was indifferent. What condition? Ji Jun said coldly. If under the interrogation of the heart-questioning Grand Tao, you are certain that Elder Ji Huang's death is related to me, then I will naturally be at your disposal. However, what if you are certain that I have nothing to do with it? Chapter 1398. Ji Jun said coldly, if we're sure that you have nothing to do with Ji Huang's death, we won't pursue the matter further. You think you're going to resolve the matter by saying you won't pursue the matter further? There's no such thing. You want me to cooperate with you when you're slandering me without any evidence? Do you really think that I'm easy to bully? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a cold glint. Then what do you want? Ji Yuanlong said coldly. Very simple. Ling Xiao's gaze fell on Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong. His voice was incomparably cold. If you're sure that I have nothing to do with Ji Huang's death, I want the two of you to kowtow and apologize to me. How dare you? Ji Jun's gaze turned cold. He did not expect Ling Xiao to raise such a condition. He was a mighty divine king, the vice principal of the great Zhou College. If he had to kowtow and apologize to Ling Xiao, it would be a great humiliation. It would be harder for him to accept than death. Ji Yuanlong's eyes revealed a hint of murderous intent. Han Li laughed coldly. I think this condition is very good. What right do you have to slander a disciple of the Aries College without paying any price? If Long Outyan was wrongly accused by you, you must kowtow and apologize. This condition is very reasonable. The old woman from the Supreme Tao Palace also nodded. The elders from the Sky Sword College and Overlord College frowned. Ling Xiao's condition was too difficult to accept. Ji Jun was the vice principal of the great Zhou College. He was powerful and had a high position. If he had to kowtow to Ling Xiao, not only would he find it hard to accept, but the great Zhou College would also be humiliated. Ji Yuanlong was the most outstanding genius of the great Zhou College. He was proud and arrogant. If he really kowtowed to Ling Xiao, it would leave a shadow in his heart and he would never be able to recover from it. However, they could not refuse. After all, they had forced Ling Xiao to accept the interrogation of the path of conscience. Ling Xiao's unwillingness and anger were understandable. If you can't accept it, then forget it. However, I don't have the time to accompany you. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong looked at each other and finally nodded. They believed that Ling Xiao must have something to do with Ji Huang's death. As long as the interrogation of the path of conscience revealed anything, Ling Xiao would have to die. Since that was the case, why not accept Ling Xiao? I promise you. Ji Jun's gaze was cold to the extreme, but he still nodded. Empty words have no proof. I want the two of you to swear the great oath of the heart. Ling Xiao said. Ji Jun's gaze turned cold. Long Outyan, don't go too far. Could it be that you think that I, the vice principal of the Great Zhou Academy, would go back on my word? Ling Xiao smiled coldly and said, going too far? Is it me who has gone too far, or is it your Great Zhou Academy who has gone too far? I'm sorry, but I really don't believe in the character of your Great Zhou Academy. You really have the possibility of going back on your words. After swearing the great oath of the heart demon, I can now accept the interrogation of the great Tao of conscience. Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's gazes were incomparably cold and murderous. If looks could kill, Ling Xiao would have been killed countless times by now. Their anger had reached its peak, and they wanted nothing more than to slap Ling Xiao to death. Han Li sneered and said, Long Outyan is right. Since you've agreed, then swear the great oath of the heart demon. If you're unwilling, I think you're deliberately going back on your word. Seeing Ji Jun and the others from the Great Zhou Academy suffer, Han Li was also incomparably happy. If Ling Xiao could force Ji Yuanlong and Ji Jun to kneel in the end, Han Li would probably be even more excited. Alright. I swear the great oath of the heart demon. Ji Jun's teeth were about to shatter, but in order to let Ling Xiao accept the great Tao of conscience, he could only suppress the anger in his heart. He was roaring in his heart. Let this bastard be arrogant for a while more. After the interrogation of the great Tao of conscience, it would be the death of this brat. In the end, Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong both swore the great oath of the heart demon. The great oath of the heart demon was equivalent to forming a contract with their own heart demons and the great Tao of the God realm. If they violated the great oath of the heart demon, they would be devoured by their heart demons. If it was light, they would lose their cultivation. If it was heavy, they would be burned to death by karmic fire. Therefore, most people did not dare to easily swear the great oath of the heart demon. This was also because Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong firmly believed that Ling Xiao had something to do with Ji Huang's death, so they agreed to swear the great oath of the heart demon. However, when Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong swore the great oath of the heart demon, they both played a little trick. The content of their great oath of the heart demon was that only if Ling Xiao had nothing to do with Ji Huang's death, and if he did not obtain the Thunder Origin Pearl and did not steal the energy of the illusory demon Ancient Tree and the illusory demon Tree Heart, would they kneel and apologize to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, are you confident? I heard that the great Tao of conscience is very strange. If something happens to you, it will be fun. The black donkey sent a voice transmission to Ling Xiao gloatingly. Don't worry, a mere great Tao of conscience can't do anything to me. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Not to mention that he had opened up the heart realm, and the power of the heart was ever-changing. When the power of the great Tao of conscience was projected into the heart realm, it could not affect his true emotions at all. Moreover, he had the wordless heavenly book. With the wordless heavenly book's wonders, it was easy to block the power of the great Tao of conscience. It could be said that the so-called interrogation of the great Tao of conscience was a joke from the beginning. Unfortunately, Ji Yuanlong did not know that Ling Xiao had obtained the great void heart charm scripture and the wordless heavenly book. Can we start the great Tao of conscience now? Ji Jun said coldly. No problem. I hope you won't go back on your words later. Ling Xiao said faintly and calmly. Ji Jun snorted coldly and looked at Ling Xiao as if he was looking at a dead man. In his heart, Ling Xiao was already on the blacklist of must kill. Sush, sush, sush. The 5 great elders instantly rushed into the sky and began to activate the heavy sacred cauldron floating in the sky. The heavy sacred cauldron was a powerful, flawless sacred treasure. Under the activation of the 5 great elders, the heavy sacred cauldron emitted a mysterious light, like a resplendent pillar of heaven, shooting down from the sky. Rays of light were dense, and the light in the pillar of heaven fluctuated, as if there was an endless world being born and destroyed. It was incomparably mysterious. A mysterious domain appeared in front of everyone. This was the great Tao of conscience. Those who entered would be interrogated by the heavy sacred cauldron. At that time, all of their secrets would be exposed. Long Out Yen, the great Tao of conscience has been opened. Why don't you go in? Ji Jun stared coldly at Ling Xiao and scolded coldly. As you wish. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and walked directly into the mysterious domain. His entire body was enveloped by a brilliant light. Chapter 1399. Boom. It was a world of brilliant light. The great void cauldron floated in the void like an ancient divine mountain, vast and majestic. The five-colored divine light enveloped Ling Xiao, and an incomparably mysterious scene changed in front of his eyes. It was as if countless worlds were born and destroyed. It was extremely strange. Using the great void cauldron to form the path of self-examination, the host could ask the person being interrogated 5 questions, and these 5 questions were all direct to the heart. The person being interrogated would definitely give the truest answer. In the great void cauldron, unless one could prove their Tao and become a saint and use their saint path to resist the interrogation of the great void cauldron, even an expert in the divine king realm would have to give an honest answer. Warriors had their own secrets and opportunities, so no one was willing to be interrogated by the great void cauldron. Therefore, Ling Xiao's calm acceptance surprised everyone. Is this the great void cauldron? It's a domain similar to the heart realm with powerful heart force, but it's still far from my heart realm. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he observed this mysterious domain. The great void cauldron could only be considered a domain, not a real world. A real world needed its own laws to be perfect. Although Ling Xiao's heart realm was still very weak, it had its own laws. With Ling Xiao's will as the law, it could be said that Ling Xiao was the creator of the heart realm. He could create and destroy worlds with a thought. Of course, the heart realm was still an illusory world, but with Ling Xiao's cultivation, the heart realm would eventually become a real existence similar to a great world. Ling Xiao now suspected that the void realm was formed by the great void emperor's heart realm. If that was the case, it would be too terrifying. Facing the so-called great void cauldron, Ling Xiao was relieved. Boom! An earth-shattering sound exploded, shaking Ling Xiao to the point that his eyes narrowed. In front of him, Ji Jun appeared in the void. He wore a dragon robe and stood upright, exuding a vast and mysterious aura. It was as if he was an invincible heavenly emperor, suppressing eternity with a monstrous aura. This was Ji Jun's projection in the great void cauldron, responsible for interrogating Ling Xiao's heart. It had the power of a saint. Long Out Yen, who triggered the super thunderstorm in the sky lightning sea and stole the energy of the illusion fiend ancient tree? Ji Jun's face was indifferent as his voice exploded in Ling Xiao's ears. In an instant, it was as if the entire world was pressing down on Ling Xiao. A mysterious power enveloped him and surged into his body, forcing him to give the truest answer in his heart. That kind of energy was incomparably vast. Even a divine king expert couldn't compare to it. If it was an ordinary person, they would have confessed everything by now. Boom! With a single thought, Ling Xiao's heart realm trembled slightly. Majestic heart force spread out from his body, instantly dispelling the power and laws of the Tao of conscience. On the surface, it looked like Ling Xiao was already controlled by the path of conscience, but in reality, it did not affect him at all. However, Ling Xiao knew that he couldn't make it too obvious, so his gaze became a little sluggish as he softly spat out 4 words, "I don't know." Ji Jun's eyes flashed, revealing a hint of surprise. Strictly speaking, his first question was 3 questions, but the angle of the question was a little tricky, so he asked them all at once. This was also to minimize the possibility of wasting as much as possible. After all, there were only 5 chances to ask questions. If Ling Xiao admitted that he was the one who created the super thunderstorm, then the Thunder Source Pearl would definitely be on Ling Xiao, and the one who stole the energy of the illusion fiend ancient tree would also be him. However, Ling Xiao's "I don't know" immediately messed up Ji Jun's plan. Could it really not be Long Out Yen? Ji Jun began to have doubts in his heart. After all, in the path of conscience, he didn't suspect that Ling Xiao would lie. Everyone could also hear Ji Jun's question. After hearing Ling Xiao's answer, Han Li, Fang Xing, King Xian, and the others unconsciously heaved a sigh of relief. On the other hand, Ji Yuanlong and the others' expressions turned ugly. I knew that this guy is the most cunning. Even Zhao Ritian, that unkillable guy, was tricked by him. If you dare to bet with him, I'm afraid you'll lose everything in the end. Black Donkey was gloating in his heart. He opened his mouth wide and laughed in a very annoying way. Second question, Long Outyen, did you see Ji Huang in the Sky Lightning Sea? Ji Jun stared at Ling Xiao and asked. Although the Thunder Source Pearl was also very important, finding the beast that killed Ji Huang was what Ji Jun wanted to know the most. Ji Jun's voice was like thunder, exploding in Ling Xiao's ears. Majestic energy surged into his body, still forcing him to answer the truest question in his heart. I did. Ling Xiao still had a dull look in his eyes as he replied. However, his answer shocked Ji Jun. At the same time, he gritted his teeth in hatred. This bastard was too cunning. Ji Jun's intention in asking this question was to get Ling Xiao to answer how he saw Ji Huang. In the end, Ling Xiao only answered with 2 words. Strictly speaking, he did answer, but this wasted Ji Jun's chance to ask a question. Yi Liangchen, King Xian, and the others suppressed the laughter in their hearts. They knew Ling Xiao the best, and at this moment, they all knew that Ji Jun had been fooled. Ji Jun suppressed the anger in his heart and asked the third question, describe how you saw Ji Huang in the Sky Lightning Sea. Ji Jun originally wanted to ask Ling Xiao where he saw Ji Huang, but he was afraid that he would be tricked by this cunning kid again. If he directly said the name of the place, it would be really fucked up. Ling Xiao's voice was a little stiff as he said, King Xian Yiliangchen, Fengya, Yin Tiansong, and Fang Xing entered the Sky Lightning Sea to look for the sacred spirit pool. On the way, we met my good friend, Black Donkey, and learned the whereabouts of the giant sacred spirit pool from him. Then we successfully found the sacred spirit pool. When they were cultivating in the sacred spirit pool, I was preparing to go to the Sky Lightning Sea to train. I accidentally found the abyss passageway that led to the demon world at the bottom of the Sky Lightning Sea. Boji and many demon experts came out of the abyss passageway. At this time, Elder Ji Huang also appeared in the abyss passageway. He was discovered by the demon race, and the 2 sides engaged in an intense battle. Later, I saw that the battle was very fierce, so I quietly left. Then, I cultivated in the Sky Lightning Sea for a period of time, and returned to look for King Xian Yiliangchen and the others. Ling Xiao's words were completely fabricated, but it was half true and half false. If Ji Jun really went to the Sky Lightning Sea to search, he could indeed find traces of the existence of the abyss passageway. More importantly, no one would doubt the credibility of these words said in the Tao of self-examination. P.S. The first update is posted first. I have something to do tonight, and the remaining 3 updates may be updated very late. Chapter 1400. Abyss Passageway? Ling Xiao's words caused Ji Jun's expression to change. Even Han Li, Jian Kuan, and the other elders revealed a trace of seriousness in their eyes. The demon clan had always been elusive, and the passageway into the divine devil space was incomparably secretive and extremely difficult to find. If there was an abyss passageway in the Sky Lightning Sea, it would be a major event that would shake the entire divine devil space. Ji Jun's brows furrowed. Although he suspected that Ji Huang's death was related to Ling Xiao, he couldn't find any flaws in Ling Xiao's answer, which meant that Ji Huang's death had nothing to do with Ling Xiao. If that was the case, then the real culprit of Ji Huang's death would be Bo Jie of the Heavenly Devil Clan. Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's expressions were incomparably ugly. They had previously sworn the Great Heart Demon Oath. Could it be that they really had to kneel down and kowtow to Ling Xiao and apologize? Ji Jun was unwilling to give up. He coldly snorted and asked the 4th question. Since you saw the battle between Ji Huang and Bo Jie with your own eyes, why didn't you say so earlier? Ling Xiao slowly replied, I know that destroying the abyss passageway is a great merit, But because I didn't want anyone else to take the credit, I was going to tell Elder Han Li about this matter and let him destroy the abyss passageway. That's why I didn't say anything. Pa. Good boy. Han Li couldn't help but laugh. His eyes were filled with incomparable satisfaction as he looked at Ling Xiao with increasing satisfaction. This boy was quite smart and knew how to give him credit. However, Ling Xiao must be telling the truth. He didn't like the people of the Great Zhou Academy and had many conflicts with the disciples of the Great Zhou Academy. This was almost a well-known fact. Ji Jun, this is already the fourth question. It seems that Long Outyin has nothing to do with your brother's death. If you still can't get anything out of him, you'll really have to kowtow to Long Outyin and apologize. Han Li looked at Ji Jun with a cold smile. I don't need you to remind me, I know. Ji Jun coldly snorted, but his expression became more and more unsightly. His expression fluctuated, and his heart faintly felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't say why. He didn't think that Ling Xiao could resist the great path of conscience, so where did the problem lie? He started to feel anxious. The thought of kneeling down and kowtowing to Ling Xiao and apologizing was worse than killing him. Ji Jun's eyes flashed, and he suddenly said coldly, Long Outyin, you watched Ji Huang in the demon race fight, but you didn't come forward to help or ask for help. Ji Huang was indirectly killed by you, isn't it? Ji Jun's voice was like thunder, rumbling in all directions, causing the faces of Han Li and the others to instantly change. Lord Ji, you're shameless. Ji Huang died in the hands of the fiend race. What has it got to do with Long Outyin? He's just a mere heavenly deity, how can he possibly go and help? What's the difference between that and seeking death? Han Li was enraged. He could see Ji Jun's sinister intentions. This was a guiding question. As long as Ling Xiao believed that Ji Huang's death was related to him, then Ji Jun would not have to fulfill the great oath of the heart. It could be said that this last question was Ji Jun forcefully linking Ji Huang's death to Ling Xiao. Ji Jun did not even look at Han Li, but stared at Ling Xiao, waiting for Ling Xiao's answer. Ling Xiao's expression was calm as he said indifferently, Ji Huang died in the hands of the fiend race. His death has nothing to do with me at all. Rumble. As soon as Ling Xiao's voice fell, lightning flashed in the void. Rays of five-colored divine light gushed out. The heavy holy cauldron trembled slightly and instantly broke away from the control of the five great divine kings, flying back to the center of the ancient city. The great Tao of conscience had ended. Ling Xiao's gaze recovered clarity in time and revealed a trace of shock. But he was sneering coldly in his heart. Ji Jun, this old thing, was indeed not a good person. His intentions were extremely sinister. If not for the fact that he was not controlled by the heavy holy cauldron at all, he might really have fallen into Ji Jun's trap. But now it seemed that Ji Jun's death, the thunder source bead, and the energy of the illusionary devil ancient tree had nothing to do with Ling Xiao. In other words, even if Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong wanted to renege on the debt, it was impossible, unless they were willing to bear the consequences of the heart demon backlash. As expected, Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's expressions became extremely ugly. Ji Jun's gaze changed, and even a trace of killing intent filled the air. He naturally did not want to kneel and kowtow to Ling Xiao, but he had already sworn the Great Heart Demon Oath. Other than fulfilling the Great Heart Demon Oath, there was one more thing, and that was unless Ling Xiao died. He even had an impulse in his heart to directly kill Ling Xiao. But Han Li seemed to have seen through his thoughts. He sneered and directly blocked in front of Ling Xiao. Ji Jun, if you agree to bet, you must admit defeat. After the interrogation of the great Tao of conscience, everyone saw that Long Outyin had nothing to do with Ji Huang's death. You will fulfill the Great Heart Demon Oath now. The aura around Han Li rose, and blood qi filled the air. It was as if as long as Ji Jun dared to make a move, he would launch a thunderous attack. In close combat, almost no one present could be Han Li's match. Long Outyin, I admit that I have wronged you. As long as you agree to not let us fulfill the Great Heart Demon Oath, I am willing to give you 100 drops of holy liquid as compensation. Ji Jun's gaze changed, but in the end, he took a deep breath and suppressed the murderous intent in his heart. He slowly said to Ling Xiao, Junior brother Long, The 5 academies are united. I hope that you can give us a way out and don't go overboard. If you need any help in the future, feel free to look for me, Ji Yuanlong said with a smile. He looked very humble and gentle, just like an elegant young master. If he hadn't single-handedly caused Ling Zhao's current predicament, he might have been able to deceive everyone. The two of you kneeling down and apologizing is only worth 100 drops of holy liquid? It seems like your dignity is really cheap. But unfortunately, I am not lacking in holy liquid. Now, please fulfill the great heart demon oath. Ling Zhao sneered, his eyes were filled with mockery. He could naturally feel the murderous intent in Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's hearts. Since they were already enemies, there was no way he would be merciful. That's right. When you forced my brother to accept the great Tao of conscience, why didn't you say that you would give him a way out? Cut the crap, quickly kneel down and cow, Yi Liangchen said with a cold smile. Hee, this is called the evils we bring upon ourselves are the hardest to bear. Now you know that the 5 academies are united? Where did you go just now? Hypocrites who are two-faced are the most hateful. Black Donkey also grinned and echoed Yi Liangchen's words, mocking Ling Zhao. The great Zhou Academy's disciples glared at each other, their eyes filled with murderous intent. Even Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's eyes were extremely cold. However, they had to bow down now. If Ling Zhao refused to back down, they would really be finished. Chapter 1401. Long Outyen, the 5 great academies are of the same branch. Do you want to affect the relationship between our 2 academies because of this? We'll see each other all the time. Leave some leeway so that we can meet again in the future. Forcing someone to a dead end won't do you any good. Ji Yuanlong's face also darkened. Leave some leeway? Haha, these words of yours are really disgusting. The Great Zhou Academy is indeed a group of shameless people. I only have one request, and that is to follow the great oath of the heart demon and kneel down and apologize. Otherwise, you can leave. Ling Zhao sneered and turned his head away. He was too lazy to look at Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's faces. Bastard! Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's faces darkened. They gritted their teeth and the killing intent in their eyes was almost tangible. The 2 Divine King experts from Sky Sword Academy and Overlord Academy frowned. Long Outyen, as long as you're willing to give up on the great oath of the heart demon, they'll be willing to exchange any treasure. Whether it's a saint treasure or a saint pill, as long as you say it, there's no problem. I hope that you can spare them this once for this old man's sake. Jian Kuan said with a bitter smile. Long Outyen, don't be too arrogant. Although you're talented, there are too many geniuses in the divine world. However, many of them died before they could mature. They were too arrogant and didn't know how to restrain themselves. I hope that you won't end up like them. The burly man from the Overlord Academy sneered, half persuading and half threatening. I, Long Outyen, don't need the 2 elders to worry about my future. I only asked them to kneel down and apologize. I didn't ask for their lives. Do you really think that my life is not as important as their dignity? Cut the crap and fulfill the great oath of the heart demon. Ling Zhao said coldly. He didn't give them any face at all. The 2 elders were close to the Great Zhou Academy. They wore the same pants as Ji Jun. Ling Zhao didn't have a good impression of them. Good. Very good. I'll fulfill the great oath of the heart demon now. But Long Outyen, remember this. From today onwards, we'll fight to the death. Ji Jun's eyes revealed a trace of madness as he looked at Ling Zhao with resentment. Then he directly knelt down in front of Ling Zhao, bowed 3 times and kowtowed 9 times. In the end, he said, I was wrong. Then he directly turned around and left the city lord's mansion. Ji Yuanlong's eyes were also filled with crazed killing intent. He also chose to fulfill the great oath of the heart's demon, kneeling down and apologizing to Ling Zhao. The eyes of the Great Zhou Academy's disciples were all red. Each of them looked at Ling Zhao with eyes full of hatred. After Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong knelt down and apologized to Ling Zhao, they no longer had the face to continue staying here. They glared at Ling Zhao with venomous eyes before turning to leave the mythical space and returning to the Great Zhou Academy. It could be imagined that Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. Even if Ling Xiao didn't kill Ji Huang, the two sides had already formed an irreconcilable grudge. Today, Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong's dignity was trampled to pieces by Ling Xiao. However, Ling Xiao didn't care at all. Regardless of whether it was Ji Jun or Ji Yuanlong, he didn't put them in his eyes. Not to mention that he would soon break through to the Divine King realm. Even with his current cultivation and many tricks, it wouldn't be difficult to kill Ji Jun. Those who humiliate others will be humiliated by others. Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong should be aware of this. The two elders from the Sky Sword Academy and the Overlord Academy also left with ugly expressions. Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong had suffered such a great humiliation that even they felt ashamed. Ha! Awesome! This is my Ares Academy's disciple. Since they dared to lay their hands on our Ares Academy's disciples, we have to fight back like this. However, Long Outyen, you should hurry back to the academy. Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong must hate you to the extreme. I'm afraid they will use underhanded methods. Han Li laughed heartily as he looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of undisguised admiration. Then he gave Ling Xiao a warning. Elder Han, don't worry. If they dare to lay their hands on me, I will definitely make them regret it. However, you're right. I should return to the academy. The generational competition is about to begin. Ling Xiao smiled slightly, his expression was very calm. That's right. The generational competition is related to the change of the Hidden Dragon leaderboard ranking and even whether or not you can enter the War God Temple. Therefore, you must work hard. If you can enter the top 10, your chances of entering the War God Temple will be much higher. Han Li smiled slightly. Although he knew that Ling Xiao's combat strength was not bad, he didn't know how terrifying Ling Xiao's true combat strength was. Otherwise, he would have thought that Ling Xiao had the strength to fight for the Hidden Dragon leaderboard and fight with the Big Dipper. Thank you for your guidance, Elder Han. Ling Xiao nodded and then transmitted his voice to Han Li. Elder Han, these are the coordinates of the Abyss Passageway. Bo Jie has been killed by me and the Abyss Passageway has been destroyed by me. If you have the chance, you should go there and see if you can find any clues. Alright. Han Li's eyes flashed as he looked deeply at Ling Xiao. He naturally knew that Bo Jie was strong, but he didn't expect Ling Xiao to be able to kill Bo Jie. This indeed surprised him. It seemed that Long Outyen was stronger than he had imagined. He was looking forward to seeing how far Ling Xiao could go in the generational competition. Ling Xiao, the people of the Great Zhou Academy are vengeful. This time, Ji Jun and Ji Yuanlong must hate you to the core. You must be careful. Xian Wang suddenly transmitted her voice to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao looked at Xian Wang with some doubt and transmitted his voice. Don't worry, I will be careful. However, since you are the princess of the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom, you should have recovered a lot of your cultivation. When do you plan to return to the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom? Xian Wang shook her head and said, Now is not the time. I'm afraid something unexpected has happened in the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom. My current cultivation is still too low. Once I enter the War God Temple and become a true disciple of the War God Temple, I'll have to trouble you to return to the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom with me. Ling Xiao could see that when Xian Wang mentioned the Great Zhou Divine Kingdom, there was a trace of deep worry between her brows. However, since she didn't say anything, Ling Xiao tactfully didn't ask. No problem. Ling Xiao smiled and said. After that, Ling Xiao, Xian Wang, Yap Liangchen, and the rest returned to the Ares Academy through the teleportation point in the ancient city. Bai Su and Black Donkey naturally followed Ling Xiao back. The generational competition was getting closer and closer. Ling Xiao's heart was filled with anticipation. He didn't know how strong the legendary Big Dipper Sr. was. Ling Xiao hoped that he could have a battle with him. P.S. Third update. Everyone, rest early. If you miss one update today, you can make it up tomorrow. Thank you. Chapter 1402. In the center of Ares College, the teleportation array shone brightly. A wave of energy rippled through the air, and Ling Xiao and the rest appeared in Ares College. In the surroundings, the mountains were tall and straight. Clouds and mist drifted about. Heaven and earth were high and far away. It looked very quiet. I'm finally back. Ling Xiao took a deep breath as a look of anticipation appeared in his eyes. Over the past 2 years, he had been cultivating in the space of gods and devils. He had been fighting against the human race and the devil race in order to improve his strength and prepare for the generational competition. If he couldn't even win the generational competition, how could he enter Ares' temple and become the temple master? He could even become the god of war of the entire Ares temple. This was Ling Xiao's ambition. He was moving towards his goal step by step. Let's go back to Ling Xiao Pavilion. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he led the group back to Ling Xiao Pavilion. After Ling Xiao left the teleportation formation, a few sneaky figures appeared in the surroundings. Every one of them had an extremely excited look in their eyes. Long Outyin is back. Let's report to the Black Tortoise King. Long Outyin offended the Black Tortoise King. He's dead meat. Let's report this to the Black Tortoise King. He'll definitely reward us. I heard that the Black Tortoise King obtained the inheritance of a saint in a secret realm and cultivated a peerless divine technique. This time, he is preparing to fight for the top 3 of the Hidden Dragon ranking, or even the first place. There are even rumors that even big senior brother Tiangang might not be his match. We must hug the Black Tortoise King's thigh. Let's see who dares to offend us in the future. The few figures whispered for a while and left the teleportation circle quickly. It was a towering mountain with a majestic aura. It was as if a divine beast, the Black Tortoise, was hibernating. It was thick and ancient. At the top of the mountain was a grand palace with 3 flamboyant words carved on it. Black Tortoise Palace. This was the residence of the Black Tortoise King Lu Wu. The top 9 disciples in the Hidden Dragon leaderboard were also known as the 9 Great Kings. They each occupied a palace and were the strongest disciples of this generation. The Black Tortoise King Lu Wu was no exception. Although he was only the son of the dazzling Gold City Lord, after entering Ares College, his talent exploded and he advanced by leaps and bounds. There were even rumors that Lu Wu had been cultivating in a secret area for the past few years and obtained the inheritance of a powerful sage. His strength had increased by leaps and bounds and he was only half a step away from the Divine King realm. In the Xuanwu Palace, Lu Wenqing and Lu Yan stood below. Their eyes were filled with fanaticism and excitement as they looked at Lu Wu. Lu Wu wore a black robe. His figure was robust and valiant, and his skin was crystalline like jade. His entire body emanated a vast and heavy aura. His eyes seemed to contain a dark starry sky, unfathomable, making people feel as if they would sink into it forever. Brother, you must avenge my father. I'm sure that Long Outyin is the one who killed my father. Lu Wenqing's eyes were filled with anger and murderous intent as he spoke through gritted teeth. More than 2 years ago, he had sent a letter to the dazzling Gold City's city lord Lu Yangfeng to kill Ling Xiao. He wanted to snatch the Black Tortoise Saint's inheritance from Ling Xiao. But later, Lu Yangfeng's nameplate was broken but Ling Xiao was safe and sound. Lu Wenqing was about to go crazy. He had been sending people to keep an eye on Ling Xiao's whereabouts for the past 2 years and contacted his brother Lu Wu. He wanted Lu Wu to avenge Lu Yangfeng. Not long ago, when Lu Wu came out of seclusion and heard the news of Lu Yangfeng's death, his murderous intent exploded. He even said that he would not rest until Long Outyin was dead. So when Long Outyin returned to Ares College today, the news immediately spread to the Black Tortoise Palace. Long Outyin? It doesn't matter if he killed father or not, he will definitely die. But I'm afraid that he will admit defeat immediately after entering the divine battle arena. Then I won't have the chance to kill him. Lu Wu's eyes were filled with murderous intent and his voice was bone-chilling. He had considered more. Although Ares College allowed people to enter the arena to fight, they did not support life and death battles. Even if they entered the arena, they could choose to admit defeat. Then what should we do? Are we just going to watch him be free and unfettered? I can't accept this. Lu Wenqing's eyes were red and he smashed a wooden table beside him into powder. Lu Yan's eyes flashed and he said slowly, Brother Lu, if you want to kill Long Outyin, it's not impossible. But you can only wait until the generational competition. During the generational competition, you can choose to have a life and death battle. At that time, even the dean can't stop you. Anyway, there are still more than 2 months. Once the time is up, it will be Long Outyen's death. There are still more than 2 months? But I can't wait that long. Lu Wenqing said through gritted teeth. Lu Wu's eyes became incomparably deep as he said coldly, maybe, we can directly kill our way into High Heaven Pavilion and cripple Long Outyen first. Previously, when Lu Wu came out of seclusion, he had completely destroyed High Heaven Pavilion, leaving only ruins. Because of Lu Wu's status and Lu Yan's grandfather, Lu Feng, the college did not punish Lu Wu. After hearing Lu Wu's words, Lu Yan's heart could not help but tremble. If Lu Wu really killed his way into High Heaven Pavilion, this level of personal conflict would probably alarm the dean. At that time, it was not certain whether Long Outyen would be crippled or not. Lu Wu would definitely be punished. However, Lu Yan thought for a while and said, Brother Lu, the dean is not in the college now. A few of the vice deans and elders have also gone to the mythical space. As long as you don't cause too much of a commotion, my grandfather should be able to suppress this matter. Very good. I have the world talisman. When the time comes, I can cripple Long Outyen directly. Even the elders won't know. Lu Wu said expressionlessly. In his heart, he hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. He had even taken out a treasure like the world talisman. According to legends, the world talisman was a holy talisman that could only be refined by a saint who had comprehended the Saint Tao. It contained boundless spatial energy, and even a God-King powerhouse could not break through the shackles of the world talisman. Moreover, Lu Wu believed that even if the elders found out that he had crippled Ling Xiao, they would still turn a blind eye to it. After all, the astral tournament would begin after the generational competition. An ordinary disciple versus a genius disciple, who even had hopes of becoming the champion of the astral tournament, was something that the elders would be able to weigh clearly. Good brother, I want that Long Outyen to kneel at my feet and beg for death. Also, I want him to spit out the inheritance of the Black Tortoise Sage. Chapter 1403. Ling Xiao and the others returned to the High Heaven Pavilion. However, when they saw the High Heaven Pavilion in front of them, their eyes were filled with anger. High Heaven Pavilion had been completely destroyed and turned into ruins. The surrounding bamboo forest had been burned to ashes. Even the waterfall behind it had been cut off. Everywhere, there were broken fences and dilapidated walls. The stone tablet with the words, High Heaven Pavilion, had been smashed into pieces with a single punch. There was even a pile of feces on it. This was a provocation, an extremely arrogant provocation. Bastard! Who the hell did this? Don't let me catch you, or I'll summon 1,000,000,000 bolts of lightning to kill you. Yap Liangchen said angrily. Hee-haw, Long Outyen, who is so arrogant to actually dare to cripple your High Heaven Pavilion? Let's go, let Master Donkey help you vent your anger. Black Donkey asked in surprise. However, its face was filled with an unkind smile. It looked very despicable and deserved a beating. It was as if it was happy to see Ling Xiao being humiliated. Xian Wang frowned and said coldly, although the High Heaven Pavilion is your residence, it was built by the school. How dare they act so recklessly? Don't tell me the school elders don't care? Feng Ye said angrily, Senior Brother Long, this means that the school elders must be covering for them. This is too despicable. Why don't we go to the dean and seek justice for us? Lilia, you're too kind. We have to fight back against these bastards. Didn't they destroy our High Heaven Pavilion? Wouldn't it be better if we find those bastards and cripple them? Yin Tiansong said with a sinister smile. Everyone said angrily. In the end, they all looked at Ling Xiao. They wanted to see how he was going to solve this matter. Ling Xiao's expression was very calm, but there was a trace of coldness in his eyes. Looking at the ruins in front of him, Ling Xiao could feel how arrogant and despotic the person who destroyed the High Heaven Pavilion was. No need to go through so much trouble. I think I know who it is. Ling Xiao said indifferently. In Aries College, he had only offended 2 groups of people. One group was the brothers Chu Yunfei and Chu Yunfan. However, they were currently in the God Devil space and had yet to return. The other group was Lu Wenqing and Lu Yen. Lu Wenqing's elder brother was the Black Tortoise King, Lu Wu. His father, Lu Yangfeng, had died in Ling Xiao's hands. Therefore, Ling Xiao guessed that it was most likely Lu Wu's doing. Hee, senior brother Long, these bastards definitely know who destroyed High Heaven Pavilion. Yap Liangchen and Yin Tiansong caught a disciple who was spying on them from afar. They sneered and started to threaten him. In the end, the disciple confessed that the murderer was the Black Tortoise King Lu Wu. Upon hearing Lu Wu's name, the crowd instantly exploded. What bullshit, Black Tortoise King? Big brother, let's kill our way to the Xuanwu Palace and tear it apart. Let's kill that Lu Wu. Since the academy doesn't care, then don't blame us for being impolite. Yi Liangchen sneered. That's right. A mere Black Tortoise King dares to bully our senior brother Long? You're simply courting death. Yin Tiansong also sneered. Now, everyone knew Ling Xiao's true combat strength. He could even fight against the great senior brother of the Overlord College, King Kong Ling Xiao. How could the Black Tortoise King be compared to him? In short, they had blind faith and worship in Ling Xiao. Not to mention the Black Tortoise King Lu Wu, Ling Xiao might even be able to defeat the great senior brother Tiangang. They had all obtained great benefits in the divine devil space, and each and every one of them was elated, wishing they could walk sideways. How could they allow others to bully them? Lu Wenqing, Lu Wu, you guys are really courting death. Ling Xiao said calmly. His eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. What angered him the most wasn't Lu Wu's destruction of High Heaven Pavilion, but the fact that the academy didn't do anything to punish Lu Wu. Not to mention punishing Lu Wu, they didn't even restore High Heaven Pavilion to its original state. Ling Xiao knew that this was the academy's way of indulging Lu Wu. They thought that Lu Wu was more valuable than Ling Xiao. Since that was the case, Ling Xiao would turn the academy upside down today. He would let the academy know whether Lu Wu or Ling Xiao was more important. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. At this moment, a few powerful figures swept across the sky. Long Outyen, give me back my father's life. Lu Wenqing's eyes were bloodshot as he glared at Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with hatred. He and Lu Yen stood on the left and right respectively. Lu Wu stood in the middle. His aura rose and a black divine light lingered around him. His eyes were incomparably deep as they fell on Ling Xiao. Lu Wenqing, your father is dead? What does it have to do with me? You guys destroyed my High Heaven Pavilion. Today I will settle the score. Ling Xiao said calmly. As for Lu Yangfeng, he naturally died in Ling Xiao's hands. However, he would never admit it. Bastard! You still don't want to admit it? My father followed you into the divine devil space. You're fine, but he's dead. If you didn't kill him, who else could it be? Lu Wenqing gritted his teeth and said, why did your father follow me into the divine devil space? Why didn't I know about it? Ling Xiao sneered. Follow you? Of course. Lu Wenqing was suddenly speechless. He was too impatient. Was he really going to say that his father was there to snatch the Black Tortoise Saint's inheritance from Ling Xiao? Let me say it for you. Your father followed me to snatch the treasure from me, right? However, it's a pity that the divine devil space is filled with danger. There are many experts from the demon clan. Perhaps Lu Yangfeng was unlucky and encountered an expert from the demon clan. He was killed by the demon clan. What does it have to do with me? Ling Xiao sneered coldly. Hee, I've seen shameless people before, but I've never seen someone as shameless as you. Your father wanted to snatch my brother's treasure and was killed by the demon clan. What does it have to do with my brother? Yi Liangchen said sarcastically. Hee-haw, what does your father look like? Does he look like me? Black Donkey squinted and looked at Lu Wenqing carelessly. Lu Wenqing's face immediately turned green. He stared at Black Donkey with a murderous look and said, where did this beast come from? Long Outyen, take care of your beast. Otherwise, I don't mind killing it for you. Hee-haw, how dare you call your father a beast? You unfilial son of a bitch, get the hell out of here. Black Donkey licked his face and sneered. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.